Okay, I think we're good. Hi, hello, everybody. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Hopefully, everybody is doing well and feeling well. Welcome to Community Day. Who do we hear? KH Sorcerer, Dragoon, The High Wario, Shadow Knight, Shadow 977, Somber. Let's see here. CT, what's going on? I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope you're having a good weekend so far. I hope you had an okay week. I hope you had a better week than Microsoft, and more importantly, I hope you had a better week than the people who used to work for Microsoft. Yeah, which is not to make light of them. It's kind of been a crappy week and it sucks. Hopefully you're doing better than anybody who bought Helldivers 2 in one of 100 and something countries, which is kind of wild to me. Yeah, it's been kind of a week so far. I mean, I say so far. We're kind of at the end of the week, but I don't know. I don't put it past some of these companies to do one more dumb thing before the Saturday is out. Hey, peace. I hope all is well. All is pretty well. I had a pretty good morning. I woke up relatively early. I was super tired. I apologize yesterday for canceling. I was running late, so it was only going to be the 2-hour stream. But I was so tired. I sat down after I posted and said, that I was going to cancel. I had a little something to eat, and then I went right to sleep. Like I sat on the couch, and then I woke up like 2 hours later, and I was still like kind of tired the entire time. I ended up going to sleep at like 10 o'clock. Then I woke up this morning. I woke up at about 5. I went to the gym. I had got my coffee and a pretzel from Wawa to break my fast so that I could have the energy for the gym. I had a good workout, came home, relaxed a little bit, had a real breakfast, and now I'm here. But yeah, had a good morning so far. Apparently, Helldivers 2 isn't being relisted as far as Sony said in any country it was removed from. And Ghost of Tsushima's Steam is now getting pulled before release from all those unlisted countries. And they confirmed that it's like everything. It's like every shop is doing it. I saw there was a thing when that first broke, the news about Ghost of Tsushima. Apparently, it was one storefront that was doing it, but it is confirmed that it's all of them. Like Steam is pulling it too. I remember when we were talking about how games like Ghost of Tsushima shouldn't need a PSN account to play a couple days ago. Good times. Well, to be fair, and this doesn't really solve the problem because it's still a problem. The PSN account for Ghost of Tsushima was for something like multiplayer or something, but you shouldn't even be locking part of the game behind that. So I feel like it's important just to clarify, but it doesn't change the problem. It doesn't change the core problem of the situation. More exciting note. Once my Mio Mini portable emulator arrives, I plan to start my first Link to the Past randomizer. Oh, that's a good way to use portable emulators to play Link to the Past randomizers, because not only do you get to take Link to the Past with you, but since you're playing a randomizer, it means you're not a filthy thief. So Xbox is dead. Time for a Sega redemption arc on the console market. I don't know how. I feel like that's a good topic for another time. I don't know. I don't know that I'd be totally against that, to be completely honest with you. I don't know that they would. I don't think they would do it. Not in a million years would I think they would do it. And I don't think that it would be particularly profitable for them. But I'd be interested to see them come back to the console market with some sort of like digital only simple game console, right? Nothing to compete with the big boys, nothing to make a ton of brand new games for, like, or not a ton of brand new like high powered games. If you made something in what I'd probably call the single A or even indie powered system. Let's say it was an indie powered system. Like, you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get God of War, right? You're not going to get Final Fantasy 16 out of it. But if you're going to get like the indie games and a moderately strength storefront, I'd be curious to see what you could do with something like that. Dark Souls Trilogy is on sale on Steam. I mean, which is a rarity for some reason. I guess the Dark Souls games don't go on sale very often. Even sales are too difficult for Dark Souls. Too many people stealing my name. Yeah, lots of shadows out there. No. See, Shadow, what you have to understand is that when the more shadows there are, it means there's more light in the world. Wait, do I have a... I don't have the more you know. I don't have that like do. Do I not have that? I don't have that. I got to get that sound effect. Did I watch Knuckles? No, I don't have access to Paramount Plus. First story was, well, the storefront is doing it, but apparently it's any Sony game going forward that requires the PSN login for anything. Which, I'm going to be devil's advocate a little bit here today. When it comes to that Sony stuff, my biggest issue with the Sony stuff is that, like, requiring a PSN account, is that you're doing it for Helldivers and Ghost of Tsushima, which are already available. If they do it going forward, okay, fine. Now people can make a decision based on whether or not they want to buy their games, and they can do it fully informed. And now Sony can see whether or not that's going to hurt their sales. My issue with doing that, with requiring a PSN account, because the companies can do what they want. They really can. It sucks. It definitely sucks. But if they want to do it for whatever reason, if they want to bring people into their ecosystem, and this is how they do it, they can do it. My problem is doing it for games that that have already been purchased, and now you're suddenly telling people that part of or the entire game is locked out. That's where I have a problem. It still does suck. I do still have a problem with requiring a PSN account when you buy it on Steam. But now going forward, now you can decide, all right, I'm just not going to buy those games there. And again, if people decide to do that and they decide I'm not going to buy Sony games on Steam specifically because I'm going to need a PSN account, that's how you get them to change their mind. So if you're not willing to do that, then you have to decide what you are willing to accept. AGM with the 100 stream watch streak. Thank you so much, AGM. Now you can miss one. And start all over. Let me go back up here. Lilac in the hunt with a tier 1 subscribe for 63 months. Lilac's comment, 63 months. I appreciate that. Lilac, thank you so much. Thank you for all the support over the years, not just in the subs, but for everything that you do for us here. Thank you. Hold on, go back up. Sony's trying to figure out PC gaming. Please ignore that they lost 10% of their stock price, pissing off PC players. What's crazy is if you're gonna do that, then just open up your own storefront. Just have your own full-fledged storefront and sell your own games there, which I still think they're going to do. I still think that as they move into the PC market, they're not going to be okay with giving Steam 30% of their sales. So if the plan is, the second you decide that the plan is to move into the PC space, you need to go all in. You need to immediately say, all right, here's our storefront. Here's how you buy our games. Here's how you download our games. And you have to make your own launcher and stuff. You can't half-ass it. You can't make people say and think that you're moving into the PC space and then not have all of the infrastructure that you need in order to make it work. If you want to creep into the PC space, fine, but you need to make it clear that is a creep towards a goal. Not just Bobby Kotick, who is also a creep towards a goal. You have to make it very clear that this is the end game. And right now, everybody just kind of assumes it's the end game, but then the moves that they're making don't feel that way. I haven't tried it playing for my emulator, but tested it. Playing. I think you'd really enjoy Final Fantasy IV free. We did free enterprise. Here on stream, I think. Sony are probably working on a way for those other countries to play their games, but it's probably too late for a lot of people. I would assume that they're just going to open up their own storefront, and then you can make a PSN account through that storefront. Maybe if you don't need a PSN account, you need a PS Store account. Maybe it's going to be something. Oh, I saw Dragoon. I noticed that just as I was sitting down to get ready for this stream. So I'll give you that in a second. I don't see the point of an indie-focused console. Yeah, I don't really see the point of it either. I'm just saying that if in the hypothetical world where Sega comes back into the console market, I don't see them trying to do it with a powerful system that's capable of competing with the big boys. Right, I don't see a Dreamcast 2 that's as strong as a PS5 or anything. I feel like if they were to step foot into making a piece of hardware, it's probably not even accurate to say the console market. If they were to step foot into making a piece of hardware, I think it would be a moderately powered piece of hardware that runs their entire retro library. I think that there's a lot of people that would actually engage in a moderately powered Sega-backed console that had slowly but surely had everything that they've ever released on it, right? Dreamcast and down. But I don't. That's like 1 in a billion, right? If they made that announcement, I would say I predicted it and I didn't even think it was going to happen. Waxing lyrical today, are we? Absolutely. I got Hades, which is also on sale, double the size of Dark Souls for some reason. Either that or they're just content with Sony taking exclusivity to PC. I'm still bitter about the death of Dreamcast. I'm Shadow Knight. I don't know that I'm bitter about it, but I do think it kind of sucks. I do think that, because I don't think that the Dreamcast died because it was a bad piece of hardware. I think, if anything, it ironically, I think the Dreamcast died because it was a very good piece of hardware that had so much tech in it that people were able to take advantage of it. I've said before that in the last year and a half of the Dreamcast, which I think the system was only around for 3 or 4 years, I worked at a store and I watched as the sales declined and deteriorated for that system. And a big chunk of it was people just flat out admitting, I just download the games, or I buy them cheap, or as interest declined, the prices dropped on it really fast. But there were a lot of people that said, yeah, I download the games and I burn them. And that was how they were getting games. And I worked at a game store, right? I worked at the place there where the customers should not want to say, I actively engage in something that makes me not buy products from you. And I constantly heard that with that system. Ghost of Tsushima, specifically the director's cut. Oh, which isn't out yet. Oh, it's out on the 16th. And no, people are bitching that Sony listened to them when they bitched at them for selling Helldivers to those countries without a way to play without PSN at the time. Oh, okay. I don't think a Sony launcher would be very successful. Do I think a Sony launcher would be successful? I mean, it depends on how much of their library is there. That's the thing. I think it depends on how much of that is there. If you have a Sony launcher and you're getting God of War Ragnarok a year and a half late, no, of course it's not going to work out. But if you're putting most of your library on there, if everything is same day console and PC, if it turns into a real storefront, I do think that it would take time. I do think that it would take some time for people to really engage in it more actively. But I mean, we look at some of these other storefronts and I feel like some of them are kind of surprising. I'm always kind of surprised that GOG is still around. Epic, I'm not super surprised Epic is still around because you do have something like Fortnite holding it up. But it does kind of surprise me that it gets it occasionally gets a good amount of attention. Steam, I don't think is too surprising. I think Steam kind of not grandfather their way in, but they were the first ones to do it as well as they did. So it's not too surprising that they're still around. And if they still sell to those countries, well, it's scummy and then selling half product. If they discount, how dare they make me pay full price? It's just the case now that people don't care about PSN or the 117 countries. They just want. I mean, we know that though, right? Right? Don't we know that no matter what some of these companies do, people are going to complain? I mean, Nintendo for given how Nintendo's corporate behavior has, on the surface at least, been better than the other companies, there's still people that complain about the things that Nintendo does. There's people are just, they're gonna find something to complain about. And I've said before, I think it's sort of a skewed view though. I think that I don't think it's that everybody's looking for something to complain about. I think that there's always going to be a group of people complaining about something, and they're always the one. Even though that group of people changes, they're always the ones that get attention. If this small group of people complains about thing A, this small group of people complains about thing B, this group of people C, D, E, and F and G, what's going to happen is those are the only people that you're going to hear stories about. You're not going to hear stories about the people that are loving it. Not often. You hear about, like Helldivers, right? Helldivers, people talked about how great the game was. And you look at Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade, you heard constantly about, not about how lewd the game is. You heard about the people complaining about how lewd the game is. When realistically, there's way more people that are just enjoying the game. But who do you keep hearing about? You keep hearing about the people that are upset about Stellar Blade, and then it's going to be the people that complain about Helldivers, and then the Ghost of Tsushima, and then you got Paper Mario coming out next week. There's going to be 8 people that aren't happy with something about Paper Mario. They're going to say something. People are going to write articles about it. People are going to make videos about the articles, and it's going to look like this big giant problem when it all started because 8 people didn't like the game. You know what I mean? It's just a constant sort of problem that we have. Yeah, I think we played the Final Fantasy IV free enterprise. Is that the one with where you can pick like the different characters and stuff, and the different characters show up? I'm pretty sure we played that. Pretty sure Ouya that was the Ouya thing as well. Remember the Ouya? It's back in Ouya form. Oh, okay. I have one. I wish I could get it to work. I wish I could get it to do something. Oh, it's before release. They aren't selling the countries that can't link. They are refunding those pre-orders. The reason they don't do their own PC storefront is because Steam holds a monopoly on PC gaming. I mean, they hold a monopoly, but Epic is still there. GOG is still there. GOG serves a different market. And yeah, if you look at Sony games coming out going forward, if you look at the next God of War, the next Spider-Man, if they weren't available on Steam, if they were only available on the Sony storefront, people would go to the Sony storefront. They would. I think that that's very true. People go to Epic because they need Fortnite, right? And even if it's one game, it's the game that's propping them up. D with the 20 stream streak and Sean with the 3 stream streak. Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you so much, D. Microsoft Launcher isn't successful, so Sony one has near no hope, but a Sony one has games. A Sony one has games that people want. A Microsoft, what does a Microsoft storefront have? Third-party games that are going to also be on Steam and probably on the PlayStation storefront. No, what Microsoft exclusives are propping up a Microsoft gaming storefront? Yeah, they have Game Pass. If anything, you can argue that Game Pass is a problem for them. Benji, in the holiday tier 1 subscribe for 30 months. Thank you so much, Benji. Hello. No, going back up. Issue Ghost of Tsushima is Sony already sold the game on their pre-purchase. A lot of those countries, to fair. It's a lot easier to refund before release. People are understandably upset the game is getting yanked for just for the PSN login for the multiplayer feature. Yeah, I mean, but Lilacs right. If they decided, hey, we're gonna sell the game for $30 and we're gonna remove the multiplayer feature, people would just say you're selling them half a game. It's like, okay, but they can choose whether or not they want that, right? Do you want it all, or do you want options? And I think that that's something that Sony could do. Sony could say, yeah, for $40, $30 or $40, we'll sell you just the single player experience and we'll do something else. But people will complain. They'll complain. They complain. People complain if they have choices. They complain if they have no choices. At some point, you just have to say, okay, and just move on. Steam is also a massive library and actively aids the modding community. Yeah, Steam itself, I think that's one of the things, Sean, is that one of the reasons that Steam has such a good reputation is not just because it's the big storefront. It's not grandfathered in to its legacy. It is actively good. It has been actively engaging. My understanding is that Steam has never done anything atrocious. Sure, they've had failures, right? Apparently, they did like the Steam box or something, and they've had different hardware situations that didn't work out really well. But my understanding is that they've never been a particularly terrible company. It's funny because we constantly mention here, and people constantly mention that Steam takes 30%. And it's funny because I feel like if anybody else did that, if anybody else was being talked about for doing that, I feel like anybody else would get yelled at. I can't believe they take so much. How do you take so much and you're just distributing it? You're just running a storefront. And it's funny. I really feel like even if the other companies probably take more from their developers or something, like, I don't know. I feel like other companies would get yelled at. I feel like if Microsoft opened up a storefront right now, a fully expansive storefront, and took 30% from any company that they didn't own that developed games for it, I think people would yell at them. And they would say, how dare you? How dare you take that much money from those companies? Hold on, I'm gonna try and jump ahead here. Sony launch release tests that require commitment that Sony is just not doing. You need to have games launching both console and PC, as well as still deal with the current clash of region lock. In that case, they wanted Valve to back them up on that, but now all they're doing is making Valve look more pro-consumer without doing anything. I'm gonna scroll down. No, talk about the game. So actually, I heard one thing, this gameplay from one person, and it's apparently a Souls-like. I agree with that in terms of principle, but I also think that people use that as a way to dismiss legit criticism as just hate. To what we talked about the other day, if you enjoy a game but have issues, it's very easy to be seen as you're being negative. A lot don't even know GOG exists. It's not that widely known. Epic is around for Fortnite and is only held up by free games. But you say, yeah, this game is on PC. Your first thought isn't which launcher service it's selling on. Your first thought is better open up Steam. You're right. And Steam does have that. Steam does have that. They have that legacy. They have that share of people's attentions. And they are, in regards to PC gaming, they are a household name. But you go to Steam, what happens? You go to Steam, hey, God of War isn't on Steam. What's that all about? Oh, it's on the PlayStation Store. Okay, now you make the decision. Do you care enough about God of War to go to the PlayStation Store, or do you say, never mind, and I'm not going to play it? Let's be honest. There's a lot of games out there that people would not say that. They're going to say, all right, I'm going to go over to this storefront. And they don't want to, but they're going to. That's why at some point, you have to make a decision. Like I said, you have to make a decision about what you're not okay with, and if you are okay with it, to what extent. If you're not okay with Sony's games not being on the Steam storefront, then when Sony opens up their own storefront, you have to actively tell them, I would buy your games on Steam. I wouldn't buy your games here. You have to actively do that. I'm just saying in general, not you specifically. You have to actively do that. And people won't do it. They'll say, okay, it makes sense. It makes sense that Sony would have their own storefront and you would have to go there to buy their games. Does that not make sense? Would it not make sense if a Sony published game was only available on the Sony run PC store? And you said, where's Helldivers 2? I hear everybody talking about this game. I see all of my favorite YouTubers and Twitch streamers playing this game. Where do I buy it? Let me go to Steam. Wait, it's not on Steam. What do? Where do I buy it? PlayStation Store. Okay. Now you make a decision. Do you care? And do you want to go and play the game? Or do you want to be steadfast against Sony's storefront and say no? But you can't do both. You can't say, this sucks, I wish Sony games were on Steam, and then actively refuse to go to Sony's PC store and buy a game. You can't do both. At this point, I agree with that. As long as there are refunds for those who will not be able to play it, that should be fine. But I won't pass down the fact that the only reason why they're doing refunds is because they got caught. Yeah, absolutely. Discounted version would still be a better option because at least there you can actually dismiss the complaint rather than your country is not playing. The other answer, Sony could have removed the multiplayer login requirement like they did with Helldivers 2 when it hurt the launch. Now, to be fair, as you said, how Sony resolves this is up to them, but that didn't mean people are obligated to be happy with the solution. Yeah, they're not. They're not. I'm sorry if I made it sound that way. True. Is this? 99% of people probably don't care about Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, you know what though? 99% of people probably don't care about Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer. Yeah, but there's a lot of games out there that 99% of people probably don't care about, and we still throw a fit because you don't have access to them. 99% of people don't care about PlayStation 3's digital store, and yet everybody was in an uproar when they said that it was going to shut down. I maybe the numbers are probably not 99%, but I'd argue that most people, the vast majority of gamers, weren't using the Wii U store, and maybe I would argue that people were using the 3DS store more than they were using the Wii U store, and people still threw a fit when they announced that they were shutting it down. The argument is always whether or not you have access to it, not whether or not people give a damn. But eventually people just won't give a damn. Can I get a shout out for my birthday? Today is my day. Today is the day I survived another turn around the sun. Sean, happy birthday. I very much appreciate you for everything that you do here, for everything that you've done here, for all the support that you've given us. Happy birthday. And that support isn't mandatory for me hoping you have a happy birthday. It's just a nice little bonus. But happy birthday, Sean. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to your message. Microsoft have a storefront. I mean, do they? Does Microsoft have a legit? I mean, they do have. You're right. They do have a nonsense storefront, don't they? What does Microsoft's storefront look like? Because Microsoft's storefront isn't Game Pass, right? That doesn't count as their storefront. I'm talking about like Steam, where you can just go and make an account and then you have it. Like, doesn't Microsoft has a storefront, but it's not like you're not going there and buying the latest Halo game, right? PC Gamers did for both. For Ubisoft games, when they tried that, they did it to Blizzard games when they tried that, and even Microsoft when they tried, and they all folded and released on their launcher in Steam and made it so you need to link their accounts, have launcher just to start the game. Yeah, if you restricted it to only their store, people would make a decision about whether or not they want to engage in that store, and then they would go there and buy it, or they would not. The Microsoft Store is a straightforward storefront. I don't think I've ever seen what is it? It's not just Microsoft, right? It's not Microsoft.com. What's Microsoft storefront? That's funny. That's hysterical. I don't know that I've ever been familiar with. Is that where you buy Solitaire Deluxe? Can we buy 3D Space Cadet? Oh, it's built into my PC. Oh, no wonder I completely ignored it. And that's the problem. They're going to bitch and dung anyway. Is an excuse to argue that even trying is pointless. Why bother finding solutions and compromise if you're not going to please everyone? When the point is to cover all bases, so the choices are not go live somewhere else. To be fair, many are arguing just move on and stop complaining, talking about it. And it's like that's not how it works. And in fact, as Helldivers showed, just moving on would have in fact made the situation worse. People are allowed and should make themselves heard. But also, as you said, they need to know when to move on, and that's not a day or so after the news comes out. And yeah, that's kind of the problem. It really is a balance. It is a balance of you have to speak your mind. As a consumer, you have to say when you are not happy with with what you consider to be an anti-consumer practice. First of all, you have to be able to identify anti-consumer practices, and I think that people like to throw that term around, and I think that I think they throw it around for things that aren't really anti-consumer. They're just if you have a game that is exclusive to your console, that's not anti-consumer. It's just it's pro your business, right? Sony isn't trying to stick out their middle finger and say F you to gamers when they have a game that's only available on the PlayStation. They're not. That's not anti-consumer practices. It's not. I mean, you could probably consider anti-consumer practices. You have to have a PlayStation account when you play this game on a completely different launcher. Then you could probably say that's a little anti-consumer. But having exclusive games is not anti-consumer. They're not FUing anybody who doesn't engage in their ecosystem. That's not the case. PC Gamers did do both. Oh, I read that. I haven't watched any of them because I don't want to bother figuring out my password and account name are. It's a Microsoft Store app. Problem is that despite the whole Microsoft gaming joke, the PC Store is technically less than the Xbox One. You have way less games. Yeah, because it's not a real storefront, right? The Microsoft storefront that you say is built into my computer is built into Windows, right? Or access to it is built into Windows. It's not a real storefront. Right? I can't go there and buy the latest Halo game. I can't go there and can I go to the Microsoft game store and buy Sunset Overdrive? Probably not. Can I download Killer Instinct through it? Right? That wasn't at a Microsoft exclusive game for a while. It's not. It sounds more like a storefront, right? Because especially nowadays, we have to hear how dare people be mad at this. It's like the news just came out yesterday. Do you expect everyone to heard it and go, yeah, I people are mad because they're mad. They react to it. They react and they say, wow, that sounds terrible, and they're really pissed off. And then that's why I say that you shouldn't do that, though. I do kind of think that. I do think that you have a right to be outraged when something horrible comes out as far as the news goes, but I do think that you should also be willing to listen as that story changes. We've seen that because we've seen that both ways, right? We've seen things happen and no one reacts enough. And then we've seen things happen where people react too much. And then you wait 2 days and the whole story changes and it's like, oh, okay, it wasn't that bad. Or they were able to do something about it or we got the story wrong. This is it. Oh, you can buy Sunset Overdrive. You can actually buy Sunset Overdrive. Okay, so it is a real storefront. So then, okay, then this begs a different question, Lilac. It is, first of all, it is actually a legitimate storefront. So I'll take the L on that one. So then here's my question. So what in the hell was the point of Game Pass? Why didn't Microsoft roll all of that together? Why from the beginning? Because that was always my point. My expectation was that Game Pass was because of Xbox, and Xbox was supposed to be separated from Microsoft. Xbox ran independently of obviously it was still Microsoft, but it was a way for them to, because Microsoft does so much more. So it was like, okay, this is a way to differentiate the gaming sector of Microsoft from the regular sector of Microsoft, the everything else of Microsoft. But if I can go to the Microsoft store and buy Xbox games, what the hell was the point of Game Pass and Xbox Live? Yeah, I should say Xbox Live. I shouldn't say Game Pass. I should say Xbox Live. What was the point of that? What was the point of having an independent storefront to buy those games? Why when I buy an Xbox and I log in, does it actually take you to the Microsoft storefront, or does it take you to an independent Xbox storefront? I feel like I'm learning everything about Xbox here. This just goes to show I couldn't afford the tax for all these years, so I'm not really. The last time I remember logging in with an Xbox console to buy games, it took me to the Xbox website. It took me to the Xbox storefront, not the Microsoft storefront. Are they separate? And if so, why? Don't think though, Microsoft practically hid the store from you. Yeah, when you say Microsoft store, I think, okay, this is where I go to download different versions of Solitaire and free sell. You get Game Pass. You get Game Pass through the store and also Xbox. I'm posting screenshots of the storefront and Steam. Okay, there we go. In Stream Topics. So that's the Microsoft storefront. Yeah. And if I go Microsoft Store, yeah. That's so, I don't know. Why do I find that weird? I feel like an idiot that I'm just discovering this. Why does this seem so odd to me? Speaking of Game Pass, have you seen all this stuff coming out about how Game Pass and its new games at launch policy has put the service so far behind? Many aren't sure it could even recover at this point. I mean, I saw them talking about possibly raising the prices, and I mean, we talked before about the whole 1% growth thing. Xbox Live is what let you play online on Xbox. But wasn't that what the storefront was called? When you plugged in your 360 or your Xbox or your Xbox One, wasn't that what the storefront was called? Why do I think it was always called Xbox Live? Or no, I'm probably thinking of Xbox Arcade. I think that was probably their storefront. I don't know. I feel like the idea of a legitimate Microsoft store is like, I wonder what their sales look like. I wonder what Microsoft Store sales look like, or if people even bother going, because it looks like all of these games, like some of these games I'm seeing here, Forza and Starfield is on here. Dead by Daylight. What Dead by Daylight? No, Dead by Daylight's a buy game. Are these available on Steam? Like, is there any difference? Xbox Live ended last year. It was rolled into Game Pass. Now there are tiers of Game Pass. Okay. I mean, the tiers of Game Pass are people who are upset about it. Yeah, but these games here that are in this screenshot they are all on Steam. So yeah, so maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you don't bother. You know, kind of like what we were saying about a potential Sony storefront. If I go to Steam and I can get Halo and Dead by Daylight and Starfield and Forza and Farm Simulator 2022 and another Craft's Treasure and the Fallout games, why would I even think to go to the Microsoft Store? But if I went to Steam and none of these games were there when they came out, I would have said, hey, I really want Starfield. Where do I go? Microsoft Store? Okay. Why is anybody going to go? Because you're right. You guys are right. Steam is like the granddaddy of them all. Steam is the one that is the most well-known, and it's the first destination for where you go to buy online PC games. So what happens when you do that and the game you're desperately looking for, not desperately, but the game you're really looking for isn't there? You're going to do a search and you're going to figure out where it is, and then you're going to make a decision about whether or not you want to buy it. You have to do that. If they want these storefronts to exist and they want them to be profitable independently from someone like Steam, you're going to have to do that. Forget Tears of the Kingdom. Here comes Tears of Game Pass. The whole kind of mess is why I theorize Sony's primary focus was the PSN numbers up. It's a common practice. That's not my point. But I mean that I don't think Sony actually expected people to give a damn about their games coming to PC this much. And they would just exist in the store for PlayStation fans to have that PC boost. AGM, I would argue that it's not that they didn't expect people to care that much about PC. I think they didn't want people to care that much about PC. Because if people are focused, PC is a console. It is a game platform. Platform's a better term. PC is a platform that has everything. If people buy your console, they're only locked into your ecosystem. So I think that maybe they knew if we put our games on PC, they're going to be playing it on a platform where they have access to everybody else's games. Yeah, PC is the gateway drug. No, see, Lilac, I think PC is the drug. I don't think it's a gateway. I think the problem is that everybody realizes that PC is the end game. You buy consoles, but then you discover PC, and then what happens when you can, if you could get every Sony game, every Microsoft game, and every Nintendo game on the computer, on PC, same day, and it runs just fine, if not better. Why would any, outside of something like the portability, which you've got, the Steam Deck, the Switch, outside of some sort of function in that way, why would anybody buy consoles? Again, the reason, the best thing for consoles is that for a lot of people, myself included, I like the fact that I buy a console game. I know I know for the most part it's supposed to work. I know that it's compatible. I don't have to worry about my hardware being a problem. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't have to worry about the settings that I have to tweak. It's much easier as a consumer to play a console game than it is a PC game. But you do have a lot of people that would figure it out if it was the overall best thing. And it was affordable. Price is going to be the big thing, GG. Yeah. Price is going to also be the big issue there. Some companies can get away with that, right? I think Nintendo's probably the last one. But Sony, I think Sony knows that the more they put on PC, the less people are going to buy into their own specific ecosystem. And that's what they want. They don't want people, they don't want you to, they wouldn't want you to play Xbox Game Pass on your PS5. Because you bought their system, but you're not engaging in their ecosystem of games. So they don't want you on PC for the same reason. They don't want you there because if I go to the Sony store and I see that there's nothing there, I can go to the Microsoft store and I can buy something there. You know, or I can go to Steam and I can buy something there. And they want you locked into their ecosystem. So I could see why they don't want to do that. But they're going to have to. That's the problem, is that eventually they're going to have to, because the market's just going to get tired of it. You can add external games to your Steam library. We refer to Steam as grandfather PC gaming, but realistically, it's more the Mafia Don of PCs. Developers have come out to say how Xbox has trained their players to not buy games, and because of how Game Pass works, the top games pay for everyone else. And since they don't stay on too long, soon they have to be paid for by each of the next top games, and they keep eating into each other. Tough and emulation, yeah. That's how I feel. They didn't expect much. They didn't expect much. Because they don't want people to play PlayStation on PC. They probably hope they do enough to justify the cost, but also bad enough that they could tell shareholders, see, only on PlayStation. Yeah, and exactly. And that's the thing, is that you can't use that branding. You can't say it. You can say that it's only available on the PlayStation Store if you have a PlayStation Store. But I do think that people are just going to be like, all right, well, I'm not going to play it. Even portability is soft, yeah, with the Steam Deck and such. But of course, that's an extra cost. I mean, but I feel like that's an extra cost no matter what. I feel like portability is just the thing that Steam Deck, like if you don't have a Steam Deck, how do you achieve that? You know, you buy a laptop. And not everybody likes having a laptop specifically as their computer. Like, I used to do that. I used to not have desktop computers. My desktop that I have now that I use for streaming, that's the first desktop I had owned in like 15 years. I just had laptops all the time because I could take them with me. So that's always going to be, like, portability is always going to be something that you're going to have to pay into in order to solve that problem. But it's also not a problem that everybody has. During the 2010s, Nintendo was being told to push mobile and free-to-play markets. So again, we're not saying this is a problem exclusive to a company. I think they were not anticipating this much interest in their games, because when Xbox and Epic did it, people didn't care. I just hate the PC culture and just the master race mentality of computers. That just put me off immensely. And honestly, just preference controllers compared to keyboard. The thing about that, though, Carlos, I think a lot of those problems are gone the way that from the way that they used to be. I don't think that those problems exist in the same way anymore. Like you said, because you're right, I prefer a controller to mouse and keyboard. But I can buy an official PlayStation or an Xbox controller and plug it to my computer and it works just fine. Like, it works perfectly fine. I don't have to do a whole bunch of tinkering to make it work. My biggest problem right now is that I prefer the Sony controller, and games seem to all be tuned to the Microsoft controller. So I have to sit there and think for a second. When the button tells me to press X, I have to think about which X it means. And then when it tells me to press A or Y, I have to figure out which buttons that corresponds to. That's my only problem. But as far as playing on with controller on PC, you can just do it. I mean, there's some games where you can't, but for the most part, yeah, you can just use a controller now. The mentality, like the Master Race mentality, does kind of suck, but there are console gamers that have that too, right? The idea of the PC Master Race mentality, to me, is comparable to the console war mentality. Oh, why'd you buy a Xbox? Sony's much better. Why would you buy a Nintendo? Games for kids. That's the same thing. I think it's the same. I think it's just as obnoxious. It's just as obnoxious to hear people argue about why you bought a PlayStation instead of an Xbox, and that's stupid because the Xbox is technically more powerful. Or that is the same thing to me as, why are you buying consoles? PCs are so much better. CT, thank you so much. In the home with a tier 1 subscribe for 41 months. Very much appreciate that. Still something I question, since that's like saying gaming was dying when Blockbuster was around. It makes sense. Let's go back to the 100 million sub goal. Multiply that by 10 to 15 bucks, and you have a service that can actually justify every expense, since in 1 month you can cover Spider-Man 2's budget 3 times. Problem is, a lot of devs are getting the shorter end. You can change that in the Steam settings. I tried and it never changed for me. And I think Nintendo's never considered PC for the same issue Sony is dealing with. I'm sure there are countries where Nintendo is not available, much less the Nintendo ID. We all agree that Nintendo is even more of a control freak than others, and PC market would never be okay with Nintendo's control restriction. Yeah, no, they would not be okay with that. Not to mention AGM, when it comes to pirating games and emulation, I think that Nintendo probably gets more attention than a lot of other companies, even if people are pirating all games from all of them. I do think that Nintendo probably gets more attention. So maybe the last thing Nintendo wants to do is make it any easier and put it on PC, where it's probably, I say this as somebody who's not familiar with this stuff, but it's probably going to be easier to hack into those games and pirate them if they're already on PC, rather than you have to develop this entire piece of software that you keep updating in order to make your pirated games work. I feel like they'd probably be like, that's going to make it too difficult. Not to mention, Nintendo, we've said many times before, Nintendo always does something gimmicky with their systems, but I think that those gimmicks, sometimes they hit and sometimes they miss. But what those gimmicks mean is that it's not as easy to, it's not as, like, if you pirate Nintendo games, because of the way Nintendo does things, you're still not fully getting the Nintendo experience. Sure, before the Steam Deck came out, if you pirated Switch games, that's great, but you were locked into your computer, and one of the features of the Switch was being able to take your games on the go. If you pirated Wii U games, that's great, but you have to figure out some workaround to be able to use your gamepad, because you need the gamepad for a lot of those games. If you pirated Wii games, that's great, except the Wii games use motion controls, and motion controls weren't easy to replicate at the time. There's always some gimmick that Nintendo does, and the gimmick alters the playability of the games. So Nintendo's always had that, where they seem to get the most attention when it comes to like pirating stuff, but their consoles and the way that they make games makes it so that you can't emulate them the same exact way without buying into Nintendo. I'll give you a good example. I'll give you a great example. You can go and you can download old arcade games, right? Donkey Kong, Space Invaders, Frogger. You can download all of those games. But what happens when you download Tempest, Centipede, and Millipede? There's a game called Time Soldiers. I think Smash TV did the same thing. What happens when you download those games? Those are games that had specific hardware to play it on. They had a trackball, or they had a special joystick that moved and twisted around, the wheel, the Tempest had like it was like a little wheel that you turn. I think Arkanoid had the same thing, which was like Breakout. It had the little wheel on it. You can download the games and there's ways to play them, but you can't replicate the experience. You can't replicate the experience of playing Centipede on a trackball at home. It's not the same thing. You can use your mouse, you can use a joystick with an analog stick on it, or a D-pad or something, but you can't replicate the same exact experience. And that, to me, is kind of what Nintendo is in this regard. Is, sure, you can download the games. Yeah, you have to buy a replica trackball. You have to buy, and that's exactly what I mean. Yeah, I'm pretty sure people make specialized controllers for them. You have to, even though you can emulate the games, you still have to buy a piece of hardware in order to replicate that experience. You can replicate the game, but not the experience unless you buy into it. Switch is the same thing. The Switch for a long time has been in that exact same position where, sure, you can pirate the games and digitally replicate them, but you can't replicate the experience of playing those games because there's always some sort of proprietary hardware or some sort of unique piece of hardware that you would also have to replicate. And that's the motion controls or the gamepad, or again, the Switch is a bit different because you do have the motion controls, but the Switch's big thing was the portability, and people have gotten around the portability aspect. So I think that's one of the things whenever people talk about the Switch too, and one of my big questions is what's going to be the gimmick? You know, what's going to be the thing that, sure, I don't think they're going to make it as mandatory as the gamepad or the Wiimote controllers, but there's going to be something there that's a bit unique from everybody else so that it's going to be worth it for you to engage in Nintendo's ecosystem. And that's why I think it's VR, but you can't, it's going to be a matter of getting your pirated games to work on a VR headset. So I do wonder. That's what I think about when I think of Nintendo's gimmicks. I think of what is going to alter the gameplay experience in a way that is not going to be easily replicated. And it's going to make it worth it. It's going to make it worth it for you to engage in their ecosystem. You have to go. You have to go out of your way to do that. I think most people care about the game rather than the original experience. Not entirely though. Not entirely though. I do think that there's some. Yeah, like how Galaxy was on the Switch. And Galaxy on the Switch does actually use you can use the. Like it's a controller game, but you can use the Wiimotes or the Switch Joy-Con the same way, right? Motion control on-screen cursor is different, but I care more about having Mario Galaxy available than having those replicated perfectly. Yeah, but you can. That's the point, is that you can. You can replicate that experience if you want to. Going back to the Virtual Boy, go full circle. Apparently looking up, Nintendo accounts are available in 3 times the number of countries PSN accounts are available in, and even the ones they don't let you buy digital games, you can still purchase and play physical games without the account. That's interesting. And Galaxy uses the motion or the touchscreen, which is neat. So yeah, so even then, there is a way to do it. I don't know how we got on that topic specifically, but just engaging in their ecosystem. You know, if you go and you buy PlayStation games or Xbox games and you buy them on a digital storefront on PC versus the console, it's the same experience. If I play Helldivers on PS5 and I play Helldivers on PC, it's the same experience. There's nothing happening in a proprietary way on PlayStation 5. So gamers who are used to those ecosystems, if they switch to PC, they're going to have the same experience. Whereas Nintendo, it's not really the same thing. Sure, you can download. When I sold all of my stuff, I made it a point. First of all, I made it a point to keep all of my systems, but I also made it a point not to sell the libraries where there was something different about the gameplay experience. You know, I sold all my NES and Super Nintendo games. I can play them on my PC. I can play them on my SNES Mini. I have a bunch of the games on the Switch console. I can play them on my TV just fine. What I didn't sell was any of the handheld stuff. I didn't sell Game Boy Color, like anything all the way up. I didn't sell my Wii games. I didn't sell my Wii U games. Obviously, I didn't sell my Switch games. I didn't sell anything that requires a unique way to play it. I even kept a couple of my NES games. I kept Metroid for NES because it's Metroid. I also kept. I should have kept the light gun games, but I didn't keep the light gun games. I also kept my Miracle Piano. I didn't sell that either because that's a very unique experience that I can't. Well, I mean, I technically can replicate that on PC, assuming I kept the keyboard, but I kept the game too because I can replicate that. I can't replicate that anywhere else. I'd have to have a Miracle Piano to play the Miracle Piano game with the keyboard, which I never played on stream. I should try that on stream one day. Yeah, Nintendo is why Nintendo is still far from PC. Even their mobile, while successful, make a very distinct point to show you it's a separate bonus, not an end game. Fire Emblem Heroes might be the end game. All right, so hold on. So first of all, Iowa Gonzalez. Gonzalez, ore wa suyoi, ore hikara silver point. When is Paper Mario out? Yay! When is Paper Mario out? Not next Thursday, the Thursday after. So next week is a regular week, and then the following week, I may alter the schedule a little bit just to compensate for the fact that the Thursday is going to start being longer streams, and it's just going to be Paper Mario all the way through. Babe, okay. SGB just up. Oh yeah. The new episode came out today. Let me go ahead and share that. Dude, one of these episodes that we recorded freaking killed me. There was one of them that had a whole segment that we were. I think it might have been the last one though. I was dying with what we were doing. Missed it again. That's okay, Shadow. I might say around 10 to 20 hours left. Oh, because on your pace, I might say 10 to 20 hours left in 16. Yeah, so we'll, we were planning, Lilac. I had fully intended on trying to get into the game quicker this past week, and Microsoft was more Microsoft than they've ever Microsoft in their life in the past week. So that kind of screwed everything up. It's not bad though. I mean, we've got regular streams next week, and then the week after we've got Monday, Tuesday. I will most likely. Normally we have Wednesdays off anyway. I'm gonna try and keep that Wednesday off because Thursday is gonna start the longer streams, so I'm gonna definitely need a break before then. Gonna head out to later. D, have a good one. Nephew's first birthday party. Tell your nephew I said happy birthday, and tell him as soon as he can to hit that subscribe button. Sure, blame Microsoft. You think you can finish the game in 2 weeks? Yeah, I can finish the game in a week and a half if Microsoft doesn't do anything stupid. I feel, you know what's funny? You played this clip. I'm gonna play this clip right now. Or just the audio. Spaghetti-O. It feels like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer does the where he says, police cops. It's the police cops episode, and they like expect him to do something dumb because the character's name on the show is Homer Simpson. So they look at Homer and they think Homer's going to do something stupid. So they're all sitting around at his console, like all the employees are standing at the console. They're like, what did they say? How does he say it exactly? He's like, okay, everybody, just watch. He's about to do something stupid. And then he turns around and he says something. He's like, I'm not an idiot. Now, excuse me, my fondue is ready. He knocks it over and it's on the console. And that's when they like, I think Carl hits him with an Spaghetti-O. But it's kind of like that. It is kind of like, all right, everybody, just give it a minute here. Microsoft's going to do something stupid. I'm finishing Thousand Year Door that weekend. That's what I'm going to try and do on stream. Sideshow Bob constantly stepping on the rake. Get ready, everybody. He's about to do something stupid. And then he does. And then, oh, no. And what did he say? It's like, there goes Albany. Favorite part of the episode where he tries to put the scarf behind and it catches the ceiling fan and he spins around. Because isn't that when he flies out of the bar and he gets into a car accident? That's such a good episode. Nintendo keeps showing Thousand Year Door stuff, and I keep being like, I'm good. Let me see it later. And you know what? And Dragoon, and I said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Normally, that's my mindset. Stop showing me too much of the game. But for Thousand Year Door, I want to see it all. I want to see every 30-second video that they put out. And to be clear, yes, I do still think there's something else going on with that game. I do think that there's some secret that we don't know yet. I think that there's some secret game mode or there's something extra that they've added that we don't know. And I don't know. I have no reason to think that, but I still think it. Are you saying boo or boo earns? Yeah, I'm still. Oh, yeah. You're waiting for the surprise. I still am. Yeah, whether it's the Luigi and the Waffle Kingdom story, or what was it called? Paper Luigi and the Marvelous Compass, I think people were calling it. Whether it's that, whether it's a different game mode, whether it's the ability to switch characters or like a whole new Pit of 100 Trials, I still think the one that I would like is if they just remade 64 also. I don't think they would do that, but the Super Mario RPG get something extra? No, I don't think so. I don't think it got anything extra. You know what I'm thinking of, Ronan, when I think of this? What I'm because I say that like the Paper Luigi thing, or maybe they remade 64. See, even a Super Boss Trios, even a Super Boss, I'm kind of like, eh. You know what I think of as a comparable surprise? Oh, Mario RPG got boss rematches, which I think is just extra. I think it's just a small extra mode. I still think that this was a big giant surprise. To me, it was Tears of the Kingdom going down into the depths. See, but they told us about that before launch. When you go down into the depths in Tears of the Kingdom the first time, and you think, where the hell am I? And then you realize there's an entire other map down there. That's kind of what I think of. Where we knew that you were going to the sky. We knew how big Hyrule was because of Breath of the Wild. But when you go down into the depths and you think, where in the world am I? And then you look at the map and you realize, holy hell, there's an entire other game down here. That's the kind of surprise I think of when I think of the Thousand Year Door. I think that there's going to be something that you're going to say, they did what? And it turns out to be a whole gigantic other thing. Yeah, I also thought, damn, I can't see. I can't see anything. That's so cool for me. Like, how many were just like, it's a big open place. I was like, it's a giant sandbox full of parts to do crazy stuff. Realistically, I was down there and I was like, where in the world am I? I don't understand what's happening here. And then I went down. I didn't even look at the map. I just kind of walked around. I was like, oh, what the heck is this? And then I went down there at a different part of the overworld map, and I realized this is an entire map. This map is the full size of the one above. And I was just blown away. And that was my thought was, we didn't even know. It's not like we knew that there were the depths and we just didn't know how big they were. We had no idea. Everybody was expecting you go in the ground and you go in the sky. It's why I think a lot of people say that for the third game, if they do a third game like that, they think it's going to be the ocean. They think it's going to be, you're going to get in a boat and you're going to sail, and it's going to turn out that the entire map is like part of it. And then the ocean's going to be twice as big or 3 times bigger than the Hyrule map. And it's going to be a gigantic world. With not a lot, right? Because like the sky in Tears of the Kingdom, it was technically the full length of the map, but it was really just stuff on it, right? Most of it was, there's nothing there. It was just stuff on it. So I feel like that's what it would be. I feel like sailing in the next Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom 2, Breath of the Wild 3, I feel like that's what it's just going to be a lot of small islands, but the area of the ocean that you're going to be able to sail in is going to be massive. Ronan, I think they got one more in them. I wouldn't be surprised if this is it, but I do think they've got one more in them. Especially because of that. Especially because you do have the sailing. And you do have I feel like after the sailing, you're not going to want to do anything else. And I think that there will be sailing. I think that the map is going to be huge. I think there's going to be tons of island. And I think the big surprise is going to be that there's also going to be a way to go underwater. And that it's going to be the same exact thing. You're gonna see time and time again about, oh my God, you can go sailing, you can do all of this other stuff. It's gonna be fantastic. And then when you play the game, you're going to find out, holy crap, there's like a submarine and you can go down into the water. And there's gonna be tons of stuff to do there. I have zero basis for thinking that. Space. You build a rocket. All right, hold on. Let me take a break. And then when I come back, we will get into we're gonna play Smash. We're gonna do some Smash Brothers today. But give me a couple of minutes, and I will be right back. Sage is asleep on the bed, and I'll take a picture of him. I'll try and post it on Discord. Sometimes the way he sleeps, like he like the way he's laying down and his head is like tucked into the bed, like it's like he's like face first, right? He's on his side, but then he's like he's on his side, but then his face is like this, right? So he's like face mashed into the bed, and sometimes I look at him and I have to watch his chest go up and down a little bit just to make sure he's not dead. I'm almost jealous of his ability to sleep to the point where I'm like, are you alive? Are you okay, buddy? I just need to make sure. I sit there like I'm legit. I sit there and I look at him and I see the little chest. Like, okay, thank God. He's breathing. All right, that's fine. That's a good thing. I'm not alive, just so you know. Yeah, I really like. I took a picture of him. He's adorable, but it is kind of like, buddy, are you okay? Yeah, just breathe for me a little bit. I feel like you stick a mirror under his nose. Like they do in movies sometimes where they check to see if someone's breathing by they stick a mirror and they look for like the condensation. Okay. Should be good. For the third Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom, Ganondorf will fight you while riding a rubber ducky. The Ganondorf boss will be the rubber ducky called Squeak King Clean. I feel like they want to move on from Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom world. The way they talked about it and why it didn't get DLC. They seem to feel they put everything they had into it and couldn't be happier. I think the dev interview said this was the last Breath of the Wild world game. So yeah, so maybe it is their final one. Maybe this is like I've said before that I think Metroid is going to be the game like that. I think Metroid's going to be the one where they put this gigantic expansion into the universe of the game. Why does that sound so loud? Why does that sound loud? Does that sound loud? Let me turn it down just a skosh. Yeah, I think maybe Metroid's going to be the one that they do that for. Like I said, the open galaxy type game. Smash sounds fine. Okay. Oh, Ronan, I saw that about your foot. Playing video games. My foot is healing fine. One of the nerves started to act up last night, but has mostly healed. I don't trust my foot to not hurt me at this moment, so I'm still good. That's a good thing, Ronan. That's a good thing because people usually do the opposite, where they think it's fine and then they move it around and then they realize nope, it's not fine, and they hurt themselves again. I've got plenty of points here. Who's new? Oh, you got okay. How do I have new 1,000 point spirits here? I thought I bought all of the cheap ones. 15,000 points. Okay, you suck. I will be playing video games, but I currently feel unmotivated to play anything at the moment. This has nothing to do with my foot. I just can't be bothered. Interesting. So, do you want to watch something instead? You want to watch some anime? I mean, you could sit here and watch us play a video game. That was me 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better, though. I'm glad you're feeling better. Y'all ready for the direct? R-Wing. Is there a direct confirmed for June? I don't know. Yes, there is, by the way. Ryan, yeah, hello. It is I, your favorite Ryan from Brain Scratch. Better than that other Ryan, I gotta tell you. Are we doing 1v1s? Yeah, I think so. We did 4-player last time. As evidenced by the game here. We did 4-player last time. So we should probably do 1v1s, right? 1v1. 2v2. You know what? Shadow, like you put the Kappa face there. I don't know. I don't like the 2v2s. I don't like the team thing. I don't like the team thing, and I don't like threes. I don't like fighting trios. FS meter. Ooh, wait. Okay. FS meter on, items off. Items on, FS meter off. I want one of them on. How about smash meter and items off, damage handicap. Oh no, what? Not damage handicap. The percentage. How about this? Launch rate. We're going. It could be a jerk, right? No, we're not doing that. How about we keep them both off and then we just turn the launch rate up? We'll go 1.3. 30% launch increase. Fair? Or should I put on one of the other ones? Yeah, see, Ryan, I prefer the Final Smash to the items, to be honest with you. I find Final Smashes without items to be a bit more traditionally competitive. That's just me personally. But I like items also. I do like items also. I'd leave the launch rate alone, but we're going to turn off the other stuff. Score display off. I like, no, because not, for 1v1s, I don't like the score display. Sometimes I just like to make chaos, you know? Here, we'll do this. Score display on. Show damage. No, I'm not going to show damage. I like being annoying and not showing damage. Yeah. I like assist trophies and Pokeballs. That's interesting. We never did. Yeah, it's pointless in 1v1s. Yeah, that's why there's no point in trying to do that. No, damn it. Hold on. One day we need to do launch power max in the King of Fighters arena. Oh my god, yeah. We've never done that. Have we ever done specific items? Have we ever limited it to like low and then had just one or two specific items pop up? Should we? What do you think? Bats only? Explosives only. I do like, you know what I like? I like bombs only. That just sounds chaotic. I mean, Pokeballs only would be really chaotic. This is too random. I like oops all pitfalls. I hate the pitfalls. I kind of wish that the pitfalls just happened. Like, they fall and it's not an item, but I kind of wish it just made pitfalls. Do the custom items. Okay. No, nobody's got an idea, and I'm concerned. Bombs and Pokeballs. High items, super poison mushrooms, and lightning. Put the crash bomb. What's the crash bomb? I mean, there's the bomb choose. There's the smart bomb. Oh, man. There's so much we can do here. I feel like we're going to spend the whole day doing this. But I kind of like bananas only. Do all the bombs. Top row next to the explosive. Wait. This thing, the bomber? Top row next to the explosive. That's this thing. Oh, okay. The bomber. Okay. Bananas have been vindicated by Smash. I kind of like all bananas. Let's go all bananas. I kind of want to see what this looks like. We can change this, obviously. Wait, wait, hold on. Why did he look so messed up there? Why did K-Rool have that face? Why did K-Rool have that face? Oh, and top one leaves. Dude, what was with that picture that was going around of DK giving K. Rool the banana slammer. What was that all about? Can someone explain that to me? Yeah, you see K. Rool's face? That was great. He looked high off his tail. Let's go. You know what? I'm gonna go Daisy today. Let's go. I like this Daisy. Okay. Oh, I don't know. It was like it's from it's a trading card from the show. Yeah, it was like DK. I have to describe this. It was DK laying on like doing a flying body press. You know what I mean? In wrestling, like they jump off like a frog splash where they jump off and they slam on them. But it's against King K. Rool and he's like King K. Rool's facing like stomach down, and then I if somebody finds it, can you can post it in Discord. It's like, what's the deal with that? Hey, Apple Man. Oh wait, I didn't get the room code. All right, so hold on, let me change the category here. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Oh! Oh wait, I'm not watching bananas. Let me turn this up a little bit. Now I gotta turn it up a little bit because it turns down a little bit. What's it like being funny? It's exhausting. So much pressure, you know? Because then if you're not funny, you're an idiot. You know, it's just terrible. That being said, Umanoi. What's this? Umano. See, that's such a weird. Is that Ri? Umanori? Umanori? Right? That card said Umanori. Is that what it said? Horseback? Haha! That was correct. See, I'm getting better. I'm getting good. Trios, I can read hiragana. I just don't know what half of it means. That's the problem. I don't know what Umanori means, but I can say it. The only slammers I know are the ones in prison or the Slamma Jamma from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. What the hell happened there? Ronan, the only slammers I know are the ones in prison. I can take that two different ways. Look at all the bananas. This is great. Oh. You know what the best thing about this is? I forgot that when you shoot the banana, you still got the banana peel. You took it that way, not me. What's really important is how they took it in prison. You certainly can. That's the next step to build a vocabulary. Uma means horse. Nori means to ride. Okay, so that's what that means. So yeah, speaking of that, I am progressing every day. I'm doing my Duolingo. Duolingo is the thing I like about Duolingo right now. I still get annoyed with their lessons because I'm still, for the longest time, I was learning how to ask for green tea, rice, and what was the other one? It was ocha, ozen, and water, mizu. And there were like 20 lessons on just saying those words over and over again. But they also have a vocabulary version, so you can go to the vocabulary section, to the letters. I mean, you can go to the letter section and then do the same kinds of tests, but to practice writing and understanding all of the letters and the alphabet and stuff. So I'm doing all of the hiragana. I'm working in some of the katakana, and then there's also one for kanji. So I actually like that. I actually really kind of like that. Yeah, it's funny. I've done more of the practicing the lettering than I have of the vocabulary. Ow. Ow. Oh, no. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, no, what did you do, Daisy? Ow. Oh, no. It's Sephiroth versus Aerith. No, Daisy! I don't know how to get her to let go of the umbrella. Oh, I did that to myself, really. Ow. Oh, this level's terrible. Why? I thought I turned the stage off. Oh, come on. I was trying to grab that nanner. Pressing down closes the umbrella. I felt like I was doing that. Whoa, whoa. Oh. Oh, I hate this level so much. Daisy, what? Now I'm hitting the button and nothing's happening. What's going on? Wait. Stop. What's happening? Why is my... That B is working. Jump is working. Yeah, it's on. All my other buttons are working. Why is A not working? I can't even die and like reset my character to test it. No, the battery's fine. I had it charged before I even played. There, wait. Now it's doing something. What the hell was that? Alright. Alright. Game on. I think. I'll let you move first so you know because I know that there's a delay. So once you move, I'll know we can go. Okay. Oh, no. No! Yeah, I think it's time to take my controller out back. Probably damage from the grinding. I don't know how that would be, though. I mean, it's literally the furthest away from each other. Right? It's my left stick and my rightmost button. All right, now it's working. Unless there's, like, dust inside. I just cleaned this controller, like, a month ago, though. Taking your controller in the back. I mean, Benji. I mean, it does vibrate. So. Probably wear and tear. I mean, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. It might be time to... finally break down and buy another controller. All right, we're working now, so... I was kind of curious if that would actually work. Oh, there we go. Oh, I thought he was going to land. Ow. Woo! Give him the knee. Oh my god, that was just a legit. What? Oh, it's not working again. Oh my god. Okay, we're not. Just keep going. All right, I'm fighting. I'm on a handicap here. We're fighting. I'm fighting Alice. Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. That means I can't use the items either. All right, we're going. Hell, we might switch to Mario Kart just because I don't well, no, I think I do need the A button for that one. Use the C stick for smash attacks. Oh, okay, hold on. That's interesting. Oh, I got it. Hold on. We're back. Why is it doing that, I wonder? You need the A button to go forward. Yeah. Ow. Oh. Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, this is my fault for requesting chaos. Ow. Oh, the little dodge there! He dodged. Ryan hates potassium. Confirmed. Ow. Whoops. Ow! Stop hitting me! No! The banana's coming at you. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. The contact pad might be dying. I had a controller where both the circle and X stopped working. As your controller drifts, it scratches the board. Also spreads dust. It starts to affect other parts. The dust just gets connectors from other buttons and it scratches those. Yeah, so it might just be dying. I might just have to get another one. Alright. More contact on the DK card. The DKC show was unironically popular in Japan. So the show got trading cards made in Japan, and one of the cards was DK and King K. Rool going at it, even though it's most likely just wrestling. Most likely. What? Ow. Woo! Alright, some of these are no way. Oh, you jumped into that yourself? Whoops. Ow. Oh, stop it. This is... What is with these terrible stages today? Oh! Oh, I love the banana. Wait, wait. Oh no! I hate the banana. D tier ass fruit. Ow. I don't want to go to Great Bay Temple again. Yeah, we're getting all these terrible stages. Ow, ow. Woo. Oh, what was that about? That was weird. Why are you doing that, Daisy? Come on. Oh, no! Doing terrible today, huh? Get up! Oh my, I'm playing terribly. I wonder if it was just some sort of lag. That my button wasn't working. Because now it seems to be working fine. Daisy, for the love of God. Would you get up there? What? Okay. Oh, I'm doing terrible today. Hold on. Oh, no way. The lag wouldn't have done that. Yeah, I guess not. Daisy. Oh, I mean, I think my controller's starting to die. I think, like, I feel like I'm doing things and it's still, like, my tilts don't feel like they're working. And I don't know, maybe it's just me playing bad today, but given that one of my whole buttons wasn't working. Yeah, lag would have messed with all of my inputs. I mean, I feel like my tilts aren't working, but I'm also not, right, I'm not the greatest player anyway, so. Oh! She clobbered him! Oh no, I kind of jumped right into that one. I took that, Daisy took that banana right to the face. Try disconnecting your controller after the fight to see if that'll fix anything. Maybe, but I mean, would that help? Ow. Oh, no way. Daisy. Oh, no. Oh, GG's. That was my own fault. Oh, I'm doing terrible. I'll do a few more rounds with her, and then I'll try and figure something else out. Oh, Luigi's going to be mad. It may not. Yeah, just a test. And don't forget, you're playing Smash Ultimate. This game is known for its lag. But not like this. Not. I feel like the game's known for its lag, but I feel like it's been very noticeably laggy when it's input lag. Appleman. 08PJG. 08PJG. Zero. Yeah. 8PJG. Yeah, that's the room there.
3, 2, 1, go!
Ow, ow, ow. Oh, no! Oh, my God. I'm so terrible. Whew. Oh, I actually thought you got I thought you fired the banana off, and I was worried that he killed me. Ow. Oh my God, why did that meteor thingy me? Oh no. Oh, why did that hit you? Uh-oh. We might have a problem. Lilac, can you take a look at that? Sorry, I'm kind of distracted by something here. Thank you. What was that? Yeah, so this is a Wendy's. Yeah, so am I. Sorry. Oh, no. Ow. No! Yeah, like why? I wonder who that was. I mean, I don't really care, but... Oh! The Melee fan base came for us. Oh no! Oh! Oh, GG's! I'm in an evilly spread. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Thank you for looking after that. It's not my fault he's ball shaped. I had to hit him with a golf club. Is there a rule against about dunking on someone who got banned? No, I mean it's funny because it's like it's easy to get banned here, but it's also very difficult to get banned here, right? If you come in and you've got some weird opinion, and I'm fine. Like I constantly I'll engage. I have no problem with that, but it's just annoying when you have to like. And I'm also not sure. It could have been one of the bots. Actually, no. Wait, the bots. Remember the bots from the 100 bots, Lilac, from what, like 2 weeks ago? They were all removed, I guess, and the number didn't go down. Like they were all banned, but they still followed. Like it didn't change the follow numbers, which I'm kind of pissed off about, but it is what it is. I can't really, that's going to be Twitch's problem. That's something that Twitch needs to fix. But yeah, you banned all of those because I checked them. I checked a bunch of them to see. Not that I didn't trust you. I wanted to see. You said that you were banning them, so I wanted to see why their names weren't there. But it does say they're banned. But it does say they're still following. It's very strange. I kind of figured that banning someone would remove them as a follower. Anyway, Ultimate better than Melee. Like, again, if there's specific mechanics you like, you prefer, okay, that's fine. But, Ultimate's the more complete experience. Mad to Melee never got an HD remake. It did get Melee did get an HD remake. Melee got an HD remake. They just put the word Smash Ultimate on the cover. Yeah, it got a remake. It got new characters and DLC and Fighter Pass. It got a whole bunch of stuff. It just says Ultimate on the box. They altered some mechanics. You can't wave dash, I think. So this Melee remake's missing Poke Floats. Nah, Melee's still fine, don't get me wrong. You can send the controller to Nintendo for a request. You have to pay for the repairs, but it's cheaper than a new one. Yeah, I guess I would have to do that. The problem, of course, then is I'm without a Pro controller for a little while. I'd probably just have to do everything at once. Like, I'd send them the Joy-Con too, which means my entire Switch would be down for a little while. Actually, no. I think you can play Suika game, right? Can't you play some games with just the touchpad? Yeah, that's when I play other stuff. Yeah, I do have. I mean, I have the PS5 and I can play PC stuff. I mean, I'm studying. I'm doing my Japanese lessons anyway, so. I mean, it's not lessons. I'm just studying myself. Is the online for Suika out yet? I know there is. They added some DLC. They added a new mode or something. I guess that might be the online mode. Look for an 8-bit Duke controller. They're good and about more cost-friendly. I don't have the 8-bit Duke controller. I have the adapter for my PC to use my other controllers on PC. I use a PS4 controller for PC. Good luck on learning Japanese. It's fine. I'm enjoying it. It's difficult. It's challenging because it's such a different language structure. Like in every aspect. It's not, you know, if you were to learn Spanish, for instance, the grammar structure is similar and you're still using similar letters. Like the Spanish alphabet is a little bit different, but going from something with, what would you call it? Roman lettering, to like Japanese/Chinese lettering, it's very, very different. Sentence structure is completely different. The way you say things, and you know, it's incredibly unusual from what I'm used to. No, Roman lettering, A B C D E F, you know, all of that. I want to learn other languages myself. It's kind of hard for me to remember. You know what? You know what the thing though is, and I kind of knew this before, but now I'm really understanding it. It's not really. Okay. Did he deflect that? It's not really about remembering. It's because it's technically about remembering, but it's not about memorizing. I think it's probably the better way to say it. When I don't remember a letter, when I don't remember a Japanese character, I like you know, a hiragana character or something, I just look it up. I have a piece of paper with everything on it. I just look it up. And the more you do that, the more you're going to start remembering. One of the things that I'm doing is I have the Genki book, and the Genki book gives you like the grammar structure and everything, and it gives you a lot of those lessons, but then it also gives you a lot of vocabulary. So what I do is with the vocabulary sections, I just write down every word. And I have a little notebook, and then I write down every word in hiragana. I write down what the symbols mean, and then I write what the definition is. And slowly but surely, you just get used to seeing them. And that's how you do it. So it's not really about memorizing, like sitting there and looking at a piece of paper and saying, these are all the words, or these are all the letters. It's about just sort of repetition, and then you just kind of remember, oh yeah, I read this 8 times already, that's what this word means. And you just kind of get used to it. Best way to learn languages is to use it. Then over time it just filters into your long-term memory. It just becomes the thing. Like, you don't think about your words when you say them. Well, people should, right? What I mean is that you don't sit there and have to, like, you're not mentally translating words when you speak. You have to get used to if you're learning a new language, you have to get used to it to the point where you don't do that either. You know, right now when Trios put up a Japanese word, I had to sit there and like figure out. I had to reach into my memory to think of what each one of those symbols was. Whereas if it's English, you throw up an English word and I'm there, right? Oh, okay. Damn, Kirby is too small. I didn't have to think about that. It's just true. Hey, Marcos.
3, 2, 1, go!
Ow! 1 times 3 down. Oh, I didn't put it on. Arwing, it's on regular damage. Yeah. I turned that off. I didn't put it on the high launch. I don't think I put it on a high launch, right? Stage is lame. Song is awesome. I can agree to that. Ow. The English word? Like English, you know, English is at the point where have you ever seen those posts where it's a whole paragraph, but all the letters are jumbled up, but it says that when you read in your native language, you don't read, for English specifically, was for that one, it says you don't read every letter, you read the whole word. So as long as the first and last letters are the same, you can jumble up the middle and your brain will automatically create the word. And you can read the whole paragraph and you can read it without, like, you're not sitting there going, where this is, like, you're not doing that because your brain just looks at the whole word and it reads it. So right now, you know, learning Japanese, I'm still at that point where I look at a word and I need to figure out every piece of it. Japanese structure is also kind of obnoxious to me. I don't like the fact that there aren't spaces between a lot of the things. Every time I read a sentence in Japanese, it's just one string of characters and I need to figure out where it starts and stops. And I'm like, come on, man, just put in breaks between the words. English word. Kirby vs. Falcon, unironically Kirby's favor because Captain Falcon naturally hits high and Kirby's so small. So Kirby's under most of Captain Falcon's attacks. English has pronunciation issues for sure, but it's relatively easy to use context clues to quick read words. And, I mean, the thing I'm learning with Japanese... Oh, my God. The thing I'm learning with Japanese right now is that Japanese is kind of awkward, too. Like, it has these weird spelling changes where, like, a word is... It's like it's pronounced wa, but it's spelled with the ha sound because it means something different. It's very confusing. Then luckily, I have the Genki book, and the Genki book does a good job of explaining all of that. But it has all, like, whenever people talk about like the English language and all of the obnoxious nuance to it, I'm thinking every language has that too. No, it's like it's konnichiwa. When you say konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. But when you write it, you don't use the character for wa. You use the character for ha. It's like, why? I don't understand that. And it's a lot of that. And that one specifically, the wa to ha thing, is very specific. I personally think it's probably Waluigi that's doing that. Or should I say, Haluigi. Look for the hiraganas. No, ya, to, wa, and ha. Those tend to be the spaces. Yeah, they tend to be like the breaks. Like to is like and. So if I'm ordering green tea and rice because I know how to order that 100 times over now. Gozen to ocha. No, ocha to gozen. Green tea and rice, not rice and green tea. Haluigi and Hario. Ha! I love that. What the hell? Oh my God. Okay, wait, hold on. Kirby's turning it on. Wait a minute. What was that? Kirby went off there a little bit. So you won't be thirsty or hungry, just not a lot of variety. And that's kind of, I think that's the more important thing for me is, you know, I know that, like, theoretically we speak a language before we learn a language. You know, I know that that's something that people don't really think. You know, oh, you learn the alphabet first, learn the vocabulary first. But realistically, we learn how to speak before we learn anything else. You know, when we're using our first words, You know, when we're little babies or we're small toddlers, I guess you would say. We don't know the language, right? We don't know the letters and we don't know the words or the vocabulary. We know this sound means this thing. This woman who lets me drink milk is mom. I don't know how to spell it. I don't know how to use it in a sentence, but you say mom. So we learn how to speak before we learn anything else. So it's weird. It's weird to learn a language, and I've heard it for years, but I didn't speak it. See, it's all there. You got the ha as a wa. It's all over the place like that in Japanese. My biggest problem right now, Trios, is that I can't read that because all the hiragana is turned into kanji, and then the kanji is I don't know the kanji. I should be learning kanji more, and I'm not. Yeah, kanji's the real big one. That's the one that, as long as I'm typing, because typing automatically changes it. There are programs that automatically change it to kanji. And as long as I'm watching anime, I'm fine. But if I'm trying to read a manga or if I'm trying to read some signs somewhere, that's going to be a problem. We actually learn everything as an infant. That's all we do. Yeah, that's all we do as one. Yeah, all we do is absorb information. You know? Watashi no name Wayon? Oh, okay. Okay. Is that how you spell it? Johan? Johan? Yeah, I guess that is Johan. You could watch dub anime with Japanese subtitles and kind of train. I watch no, Executor. I'm trying to figure out a good show to watch it. I'm trying to figure out a good show to watch in Japanese without subtitles. I want to get used to hearing the words. See, when I watch a show with subtitles, I read the subtitles. And when I watch a dub, I just listen to it. I don't think about it. I just listen to it. But you're not going to train anything watching a dub. So I want to pick a good show to watch that probably something slice of life where they're speaking something a bit more right. I'm not really going to learn a lot if I'm listening to wizards talk about elves. I want something that's a bit more down to earth and I can just listen to it in Japanese. And then I just kind of want to get used to hearing words. And I want to get used to, oh, I know that word. I know this word and get the gist of what they're saying. Why not watch something you're already familiar with to help with that, like DBZ? If I already, it's kind of weird. If I already know it, I'm going to know what to listen for. And you're right, that is a good way to do it. But I feel like I'm gonna know what to listen for. I want to pick a show that is, like I said, it's more slice of life, so they're not talking about wizards and elves, or power levels. But I do want to pick something that I don't know of, so I can try and see if I can pick up on it. Detective Conan? Detective Conan might work. See, I would think, yeah, it'd have to be romance slice of life. Like, even if I was watching something like Nana, you know, I don't remember how crazy, because I didn't get too far into Nana. I only got a couple episodes in, but that felt very down-to-earth slice of lifey. So we're taking a language test. No, not that I'm aware of. To be completely honest, Apple, I'm not really learning it for any specific reason. I always kind of wanted to know it. If there's any function that I would like to be able to complete is to watch anime in natural language and play a lot of games. Like there's tons of old games, specifically old RPGs and stuff that I don't have access to because I can't speak it and they never got translated. So I think that would be really cool. I mean, ultimately, I'd love to go to Japan and I would love to just have a conversation with somebody in Japanese. And I think learning a language is probably a really good thing anyway. I've often heard that learning a language kind of trains your brain differently. It trains you on how to access information differently. That's what I've heard anyway. I don't know if there's any actual evidence of that, but I've always heard that it's a good thing to train your mind when you're able to understand different languages. Ow, ow, ow. Ow! Woo! Oh, that almost worked. He's so small. Oh, what? Oh, no. Oh, my God. Why did that hit me so hard? Oh, no way. Oh, oh no, she's like locking up. There we go. I didn't hit that third one. Yeah, my controller is starting to act up. Okay. Ah, that's such a bummer. Ow, ow, ow. Oh my God, she just took off. Woo! Oh, later, Benji, feeling tired. Hope to catch you next week. Haven't been able to catch stream because of deep sleep schedule. Miss hanging here. Oh no. Watch this. Want to see something cool? Watch this. Oh, I tried to. Okay. I tried to like fire it so that it was ground level. Oh no. I'm getting rocked. I gotta stop playing Daisy. I mean, I'm not good with Daisy anyway, so. What? Stop it. You got us both. Oh, I'm doing terrible. I don't know why. I'm just like, my brain is so checked out right now. What? Ow. Apparently, it's coming. Summerfest is in 4 weeks. Yeah, I know. It's almost, I mean, we're halfway through May right now, so. Whoops. Like, how wild is that? We're a week and a half away from Paper Mario. It's almost time for Hellblade 2, no matter what Microsoft isn't telling you. Ow! Ow. Oh, no! Oh, I saw that coming. I saw that in slow motion. There's a lifelong training at field. I have lifelong training in that field. Being originally duolingual, now trilingual. Funny thing is, you also develop somewhat different personalities depending on the language. My Icelandic personality is more professional than my English one, which is more easygoing. With my Japanese one being more prim and proper. It was wired when I noticed. It was weird when I noticed this. And that's I wonder if that's a cultural thing. I wonder if that's if that has to do with like, because when you're as I'm learning, you know, I'm only a few weeks in. Well, I'm only a few weeks back to learning. As I learn, you get a lot of cultural knowledge, and a lot of the cultural knowledge is related to the fact that Japan itself has a behavior around it. You know, that a lot of things, the way you learn the language is very professional. You keep hearing, oh, you don't really say, you know, we think konnichiwa when you say hello to somebody, but really that has to do with you haven't seen them in a while, right? That's like the first time you see somebody in the day, you would say that. So you start to understand, like, you learn the language as a more prim and proper sort of experience. What? Oh no! Come on, you're missing that. Oh! Ow. I knew that boomerang trick would come back to bite me. No! What? What the hell was that? I couldn't see that. I can't see the banana there. No, no. Oh, My only banana gun? I thought it'd be funny. Whoa, no. Oh. Whoa. No. Ooh. What? No, Daisy. Oh my God. Oh. How I didn't die there? I have no idea. What a ledge grab. Oh, Daisy. I'm Woof. Oh. Oh. Oh my, if that would have killed me, that would have been the greatest play ever. No! Oh! That was actually close. Solar is joining in the fun. Also, confidence in the Zelda move has increased since the director's newest movie, Planet of the Apes, was apparently very good. Until then, when I speak Spanish, I radiate a more spicy personality, which, I mean, thanks. I wish the right people would notice that. I like Twilight Princess color scheme despite it being realistic. I'll do 1 or 2 more with Daisy, and then I'll switch characters. No health bar. Yeah, I like taking away the health bar. I think it's funny. I was gonna take away the score counter, but I was like, nah. We'll with 1v1s, it's not really necessary. One aspect of Japanese you learn about. Most professional way to speak over there, which is Keigo. No one likes it, not even people who learn it. Take something like saying good day. Hold on. Whoa. Ow! Oh no! Ow! Oh my god. Wake up. Oh! You collided with her. Woo! Wait, what? Hold on, I think I... Huh. Ah, damn it. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought that worked. I thought that worked. Oh, I jumped into that one. I tried to guard against it. Ow. Ow. Woo! Oh! Oh, that worked. That worked. No, come on. That's got to work at some point. Woo! It's just the most obnoxious fight. Ow. What? Whoa. Whoa. Ow. Oh. I didn't even think I got one of those fruits off. The turnip thing. Ow. Oh, no way. Oh. Oh! Up! Jeez. Holy smokes, Shadow, I was fighting for my life out there. Ah. The banana takes it.
My last match, I'll let someone else in. I think we have room. You can stick around if you want. I think we have room. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's one more slot. You can stay if you want. Banana Tree found stabbed to death in the woods. Yeah, it did Sephiroth do this. Oh my god. That was good. That was good. That was a good fight. A lot of potassium going around. Oh, I have BSC in half an hour. Oh, no problem. I mean, we usually wrap up at 2. I was probably going to go a little bit longer today, but I think I might just end at the normal time. I do have some stuff that I need to take care of. I haven't mowed the lawn in weeks, and I haven't mowed the lawn in weeks, and then the weekend is normally when I do that. Either the weekend or Wednesday afternoon, and it's been raining the entire time. We have a break today. Like, it's supposed to rain tonight, and then it's going to rain tomorrow, so I can't do the lawn then. So I'm like, I think I need to actually do it today. George Newborn? What's this? Oh no, let me go back to Trios. Let me go back to your other message. Not even people who have to learn it. It takes something like saying good day in Japanese and makes it way longer than it needs to be. Yeah, most people in Japan learn it since you have to use it at work in the work world there. But Maine get them to drink and they will cuss up a storm on how much they despise it. Yeah, so that's Trios. That's probably like because there's like nice to meet you is like hajime but then what's the other one? Dozo yoroshiku? And isn't that like also it's nice to meet you but like a more professional way to say it? When really most people they say something really quick. Right? They teach you arigato and arigato gozaimasu. And really, most people say domo. If they say anything at all. Like, they teach you all of this. They teach you the polite things to say. They teach you like you said, it's like the fancy, complicated way to say it. And really, the average person doesn't actually talk that way. We're starting to get near summer weather over here, and I'm already over it. Yeah, we had... It's spring over here, but we had this, like, week and a half or 2 weeks where it was really warm. It wasn't really raining. It was really dry. It was hot. We had mid-80s. It was sunny. Like, it was super nice. It was summer. It was like a nice summer. And now it's raining every other day. And it's been that way for a week, and it's going to be that way for another week. And it's 45, 50 in the morning, so it's chilly enough that you need a jacket. But then in the middle of the day, it's high 60s, low 70s. It's all over the place. Yeah, see, we were at low 80s, and now we're in the 60s. We're in the low 60s. Man, more staff from Shujin Academy should have been Phantom Thief targets. These guys are a-holes. That was the normal way. Keigo makes it even worse. I can't remember off the top of my head since I haven't used Keigo for years. I thought that was... I really... Trios, I really thought that was the anime with the butts. Where you fight with your butt. Oh! Oh! Hey, buddy, you're alive. Sagers, you're alive. I went to go pick him up. He was like, nope. There you go, bud. Don't leave. Come here. Where are your treats? All right, buddy. I'll give you some treats. Come here.
3, 2,
Here. You know what? I'll give you treats up here. I haven't given you treats up here in a little bit. Hey, this level again? It's amazing that there's 80-something stages. Come here. Come here. Well, if you'd let us pick. Sonic Lost World was a game that came out. Critics gave the game a rating out of 10. Oh, you dropped it, buddy. You'll eat it later. Vector really let himself go. Sonic Lost World was sold in stores that sell games. Sonic lost interest. I mean, Lost World, I don't know. Lost World is an interesting game because I never played it. Obviously I never really, other than my light playthrough of Sonic Adventure 2. I never really played the Sonic 3D games, but Lost World is interesting because I feel like people like to talk about how good the adventure games and Heroes was and how bad, maybe something like Boom was or 06. There's always the controversy about whether or not Frontiers was good or bad or blah, blah, blah. And in Lost World, I feel like, and in like the other games, the storybook games, isn't that what they were called? People always talk about those. I feel like Lost World is the game that no one really talks about. Is Lost World the Twilight Princess of Sonic games? Is it so absolutely mid that no one really talks, like it rarely comes up in conversation? No? Oh no. Or is it bad? Is it just straight up bad? I feel like no one ever talks about it. Like I don't hear it. I'm not in that circle, but I'm not in the Sonic circle, and I always hear about Adventure 1 and 2 specifically, Heroes, 06, and Frontiers. Because people talk about Twilight Princess. You take a situation that's obviously Eggman's fault. So that's like a story problem with Lost World. I wonder, what's Lost World's problem? Let me ask you that. What's Lost World's problem? Is it the story or is it the gameplay? Because normally I think when people talk about Sonic being broken in some way, it's the gameplay. Like the story, it's kind of hit or miss, but it's usually that the gameplay is terrible. Is it the gameplay? Sonic's Lost Cause. If you play Lost World, the first thing you think of, this is a Super Mario Galaxy ripoff. Interesting. Which, Ronan, if it did it well, people wouldn't complain. They'd say, "Wow, this is blatantly a Mario Galaxy ripoff, but it's good." But it's still a good game. So, even as a Mario Galaxy ripoff, something's wrong with it. After World 1, the quality of the game takes a nosedive. I never heard anybody say anything bad about Twilight Princess gameplay-wise, at least. You're right about that. I mean, my whole thing about Twilight Princess is that I don't very rarely, or at least I would say it used to, because I do hear more people talk about it nowadays. But that's my joke about Twilight Princess, is that it's so middle that no one really talks about it. It doesn't come up in the conversations about the best. It doesn't come up in conversations about being the worst. That was always my gag about Twilight Princess. So Lost World, that was why I asked that, because Lost World is kind of the same thing. People always talk about the best Sonic games or the worst ones, and then because of that, Lost World never comes up in the conversation. It's the most Sonic game of all time. That might actually explain a lot, to be honest with you. Next week, you're going to Florida. Congratulations. Unless you don't want to go to Florida, in which case, oof, sorry. It's a Sonic game that doesn't play like a Sonic game. For one, I've seen the story and gameplay. It's a Sonic game with a run button. The Speed mascot has a run button. I mean... I don't know. A Sonic with a run button. Yeah, I don't know how to. I don't even know how to feel about that. That's a pretty good thing to say. I don't know how to feel about that. It's not offensively bad like 06. Lost World is just kind of there. But the gameplay and these spherical levels don't really work. Sonic has a run button. The parkour is a nit finicky. Yeah, so wait, so there's a run and a boost button, or the run is the boost button? So there's two separate buttons? I feel like I need to play this game just to understand that one specific thing. There's no boost. Oh. Wait. Nobody. There's no boost. Is that what they mean by momentum-based gameplay? That there's no boost button? It's all about whether or not you build up speed? Is that what momentum-based gameplay means? I don't know. I make the joke all the time, and I don't actually know what it means. Like, I know what momentum means, but I don't know the difference. Just a run button, no boost. Sonic has a normal speed. Interesting. Lost World didn't know what kind of game it wanted to be because almost every level has you do something different. There's normal levels you run through. Then you are in a 2D section. Then you're solving puzzles. Then you're playing a stealth section. Then you are a snowball. Then you're rail grinding the level. You're flying through the air. No way. The boost button has a burst of speed, whereas the run button in Lost World is just as fast as Mario running when you hold the B. Need momentum. Lost World is a slow Sonic game that offers you, that gives you a run button of all things. The levels are designed to be like a standard platformer, if not rip-offs of Galaxy levels. Interesting. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me, I'm definitely curious about it. Oh my God! I thought that could have possibly killed him. Imagine if K. Rool bumped into his own cannonball. It's so close. Oh my God! How did that happen? Oh! Oh my God. I'm terrified. I don't know what happened. There was a puff of smoke and I couldn't tell who got hit. The puff of smoke obscured what happened and I couldn't tell who was getting hit there. I literally didn't know who died until they died. That's funny. I thought I was about to get spiked. I'd like Sonic with a run button and a boost button. I mean, a run button feels, I don't know, like a run button makes sense, except for the fact that it's Sonic. But one thing I've complained about with Sonic games is that you have these exploration elements where I'm supposed to find different paths and find items in the stages, but Sonic is built around going really fast, so it seems counterintuitive. You know, it seems counterintuitive to have those two things together. So it feels like Lost World was them trying to say, all right, well, Sonic is fast, but you're not always supposed to go fast. So they give you a run button, but it does seem counter to what Sonic is. It's kind of weird. I was watching old 60s variety comedy show, and I'm like, wow, you don't see stuff like this nowadays. I kind of miss it. And there's racism and stuff. That's why I stopped. Which 60s variety comedy show. Tell me, I want to know if you can give me like a description. You're not watching Laughing, right? What's the variety show? What show is it? Are you watching Laughing? I think that was 60s. That might have been 70s. Laughing might have been 70s. It is Laughing? Ah! I can't believe I got that right. A run button for Sonic, in theory, makes sense. It's an option that allows the player to control his speed, but the levels aren't really built around the concept. If it was a more explorative game, I could see it working, but the levels are very, very much spherical hallways. My mom was impressed you guessed it right when I asked. Yeah, I can't believe I got that right. Woo! Ow! Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I usually complain. I usually talk about how Sonic, like, it's built around speed, but then you have this aspect of exploration that almost kind of goes against it, because the problem with combining them is that when you're running through the levels and you're going as fast as you can because it's Sonic and you're supposed to go really fast, and you start missing a bunch of things, it starts to feel like I'm being punished for doing what the game is trying to make me do, which is run fast. So it feels like a run button. It almost feels like a walk button might make more sense, but I feel like a run button kind of makes sense because you want to add exploration elements. Like you said, the problem is probably that the levels weren't really designed for it. If it was more like, maybe if it was more like a Metroidvania type game, with like a Metroidvania type game, and you have sections of long hallways. Super Metroid and Fusion and Zero Mission. Games that are more, they're based on exploration, but when you get the speed booster, there are challenges and obstacles that require you to go fast. So then it would kind of make sense. In which case, then you would probably do the Zero Mission thing. Fusion. Fusion did the thing where there's no speed boost button. You just run fast for a consistent amount of time, and then you're able to build up speed. So maybe that's somehow to make it, like, some way to make it work better. Because yeah, it does kind of feel counterintuitive that you have a run button for the character, but then if you have all these exploration elements and I'm running really fast and I'm missing all of them, I feel like I'm playing the game wrong. Which, as we've recently discovered, I have played several games wrong. Imagine Super Metroid, but you always ran at full speed. Well, that's the thing. I don't have to imagine it because Fusion doesn't have a run button, even when you get the speed booster. What it does do is you have to run straight consistently for an amount of time before the speed boost kicks in. So the idea of that, where it's like Super Metroid, but you don't have a run button, it controls the function in some other way, is just Metroid Fusion. Yeah, Fusion is auto run. So that could be what a Sonic Metroidvania game is, that he walks like normal, and he doesn't build up speed until he walks for a consistent amount of time, and then he starts going. And then you could say, oh, now you get the drop dash sneakers or something, right? You can have the whole thing be like, you have to make a story. So the whole story is going to be that he's somewhere where the gravity is high, right? Something like that, where so he can't just do the things that he normally does until you get the speed boots. And then the speed boots allow you to do the spin or like the spin dash. And that's an item that you get. And when you get that item, that gives you the ability to move at high speed quickly. Hi. Speaking of old comedies with racism. Speaking of old comedies with racism. Okay. My dad kept trying to convince me that All in the Family was a comedy until the sun blows out and it won't work. I'd be like, where's the joke? And he'd be like, he is the joke. Yeah. All in the Family was a show that it... See, okay, I'll give him something about All in the Family. The thing about All in the Family was that the main character, Archie Bunker, was the main character of that show. He was a product of his time. Yes, Marcos, we're right on the money with that one. He himself as a character was a product of his time because not everybody in the show was like that. Only he was like that in the show. And he wasn't like using slurs or anything. He felt the way he felt about a lot of different people, a lot of different groups of people. But the show made it a point to have him contact with those people. And there were moments in the show where he sort of grew as a character because he grew to understand that it doesn't mean the things that he thinks that it means. And they did kind of do that. Fun fact, his neighbor at one point in the show was a black guy that owned the laundromat, and he started he owned a business. His neighbor was George Jefferson, and the Jeffersons was basically a spinoff of All in the Family. It was that character. It was George Jefferson's character that became the star of that show. And that was what happened in that show. And one thing that was good about that was he had his way of thinking about like George, but George also thought the same way about him. Like George also gave him crap for being who he was. Whoa. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. Uncle Ruckus. I mean, Uncle Ruckus is an entirely different beast when it comes to that sort of behavior. Uncle Ruckus is very different. I didn't like Jefferson that much. George Jefferson. Yeah, George Jefferson was kind of annoying. He was always kind of an annoying character. He became a cultural icon. Yeah, Ruckus. I mean, if you're gonna argue about behavior in that way for a type of character, holy smokes, he embodied everything. I always felt, you know what's funny? I always felt like Uncle Ruckus was he was their gateway to make those comments and those jokes. Like that was what, if you had a white character who said the kind of things that Uncle Ruckus said in that show, they would have gotten in trouble for that. They would have gotten yelled at for that. But because he was Ruckus, that kind of is how they got away with it. And I think that was the point of the character. The point of the character was to see how absurd that sort of behavior was when that was the character saying it. And it did, and it worked. You hear a lot of the things that he says, and you think, oh my God. But when you see who's saying it, you're like, wow, it does kind of, it changes the whole dynamic of it. Ow. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, no. Okay, I can't. Oh, you know what I have? I have the stage hazards on, and I always turn the stage hazards off for this reason exactly. Ow, oh my god. What? Since Teen Titans have the same animators, but not the same mindset. Woo! I have the stage hazards off. Certain stages ignore that toggle. I feel like I've never had this much trouble on this level. Oh, no way. Woo! Hold on. I'm in the middle. Hold on. Gotta fight it out here. Woo! That was kind of cool. Meow. Ah. Oh. Oh, okay. Stop it. Ow, no, no, Stan. Oh, no. And it's a shame too because you like I feel bad for laughing at Uncle Ruckus, but damn it, it's just funny sometimes, man. Remember I kept saying you have reverse you ever heard of Vitiligo? That whole sequence is that's like the second episode. Yeah, I don't know. I got I mean, I'm playing as Daisy. I'm not really like not to be the this is why. I'm not really a Daisy player. I'm just kind of having fun. Yeah, Ruckus is wild. But yeah, that was always like the All in the Family thing is it was like I said, it was definitely a product of his time. As far as Archie Bunker the character, he was like that, which was sort of the point. But he was called out on it too, and that's another thing is that it wasn't the biggest problem about stuff where you say, oh, it's a product of his time or that's how it was back then, is when they don't get called out for it, when nobody says anything about it. But he did. If anything, I'd argue that the point a lot of the time was that he would learn that it wasn't the way he wanted it to be. Yeah, it was very interesting. What? Damn, she was like banana time. Hey, what happened? Oh, no, wait. That was interesting. That's interesting. He threw the banana. He didn't shoot it. Did you see that? What? You can do that? I didn't know you could do that. Ow. You use the item to... Oh, okay. Oh, no! Oh! Ugh. Oh, come on. My counter ended at just the wrong time. Oh, no! Oh! Ow. Oh, I thought I was about to get screwed over there. Whoa! No, Daisy! Ah, I think we're gonna lose one. Oh, I tried to counter. If you don't play, if you look at a combo video, then you feel bad for the players' fingers through all of that dexterity. Yeah, you know, I play Daisy because she's Daisy, but not good at her at all. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna step out. Well, I'm gonna step out and let you guys fight. I'll give you guys a couple of rounds to fight each other. We'll do a little watching, a little spectating. Hang on. Okay. Took forever to load there. So I'm gonna spectate you for a little bit. We'll watch a couple more matches and then we'll call it a day. I'm gonna take a break though. I'm gonna run. Like, you guys can fight. I'm gonna leave it on, but I gotta run to the restroom. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. Enjoy the fights. No. Head on now. Need to do another racing Gran Turismo GTWS night. I didn't get a good result on my first try. No problem, Shadow. Thank you so much for stopping in. Have a good one. Good luck. Good luck in GT. Yeah, Ronan, agreed. The speed thing, Sega has actually tried to limit or balance Sonic's speed and exploration for years. The issue becomes fans don't want that. They want to go fast and find limiting them, even with upgrade ruins the experience. So let me ask you this. Do you think that it would be better for the Sonic series if they had games that were more like Mania, which were a faster, more traditional Sonic experience, combined with a secondary series that was more exploration based? Would you say that it would work better for the Sonic fandom and for Sonic as a franchise, as a gaming franchise? Do you think it would work better if they sort of had two separate series going? If there was the Sonic exploration series and then the Sonic Speed series? Do you see my rant and follower forum? No, I did not see that, Ronan. Rant in follower forum. I'm in follower forum. I see the thing about Nightmare Cart. That's all I see there. Bum, ba, bum. Mania did have exploration. Not to that level though. I mean, Mania had exploration from what I remember of Mania. It had exploration the way Sonic 2 and 3 did, but not the way some of these other games do. They've already tried that with classic and modern Sonic, and it just further divided the fans as much as Sega tried to pretend it didn't. Yeah, see, I wonder if that's gonna work, because it feels like the fandom wants both things, and you can't sort of do that, you know. And I'm sure there might be a balance somewhere, but there might not be a balance at all for that. Sonic fans didn't like Sonic not playing how they remember it, but because Sonic plays differently in different eras, no one tends to be very happy. Solar, you okay? Solar? Hello? Oh, it's from yesterday. I was mad at how the bad side of real life car culture was in GT7. Oh. Instant follower form? Solar! You alright? Your controller die? Ooh. Ronan, I scrolled up and I saw this post about powdered mini donuts. All right. I mean, at this point, DK, at this point, just, you know, knock him off the side. You get the easy W there. Something the fandom wants both things. Does Sega create an environment where Sonic fans all want different things because they don't want to lose that hype? They kept it up by trend chasing. So they have many Sonic fans who want different things because of where they started. Oh. I think they stepped out for a second. I don't know, Arwing, because if they stepped out for a second, they would have missed the cue and it wouldn't have put them in the match. So Solar pushed the button to get into the match, but I don't know if their controller died or what. Maybe their A button isn't working. Getting an invitation to purchasing a car or charging for cars. And when you say, Ronan, I'm reading your post here. When you say overpriced cars, I'm guessing maybe their internet died. If they're not in chat either, I'm wondering if the internet died. See, yeah, so right here, they're not going to press the button to queue in. So they're going to be booted out of the room. When you Ronan, in this post here, when you say overpriced cars, do you mean like overpriced in-game currency, or is there some sort of real money store? Yeah, you're right. If the internet died, they wouldn't even be in the room. Out of town. I should do that. Oh wait, they're back? Solar, you back? Hold on, they pushed the button. They might be back.
3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, they're back. Classic fans don't want 3D, no matter how much it calls back to classic. 3D fans don't want 2D, hate 2D showing up. Venture fans want momentum. Boost fans want max speed, and it goes on. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the problem there, is that you're going to have a sort of crazy division. And what's funny, Ronan, what's funny, Dragoon, about that is if you keep putting everything into every game, it's just going to piss everybody off. You kind of have to pick one. And just like you have to pick one and decide who you're going to please and who you're going to piss off. And then you have to stick with it. If you're not going to do multiple types of games, if you're not going to do a whole exploration game and a whole 3D game and blah, 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 you're going to have to decide what direction you want to go in, and you're going to have to stick with it. And this kind of goes back to what we keep talking about with Sonic, which is that they keep, every time, it seems like every time they make a game, they do something different. You're going to have to stick with one style of game, and some people aren't going to be happy with that. But I still argue that if you don't like a type of game, if you would rather have an exploration game over a speed-themed game, I still feel like that could possibly be overcome if you make a really good one. I think that there's a lot of Metroid Prime, you know, people didn't want FPS 3D Metroid games, and then Prime came out and it was good enough that it won a lot of people over. I still feel like there's probably going to be some good version of Sonic that, even if you say, I don't really like Sonic as an exploration game, I feel like if you do it right, people would say, yeah, I don't normally like these for Sonic, but this was a good game. It's just you have to give it time. You have to develop it. You have to make sure that, all right, it didn't work this time. Let's fix it and do so, and make it better. Instead of, all right, well, the next game, that didn't hit, so the next game needs to be completely different. You need to kind of keep doing the same thing. Yeah, I just want a good game regardless of it being 2D or 3D. And I think that's what most people want. They may have preferences about the things that they want and the kind of game that they want, but they just want the game to be good no matter what. According to Chimera, Sega's creation issues is a lot of these things don't mix. But Sega doesn't want to lose people, so they keep trying to forces. As we've seen, the quality of the game suffers for it. Sonic stretches stuff into different genres, so now it has fans who want different things entirely. Yeah, throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks was part of why its fan base is so divided. Sega's the master of gaslighting fan, and believe me, the next one, it'll be the next one. It's like, it's not. It's not, because it's going to be different. And what you really need to do is you need to pick a formula and you need to perfect that formula. And then when you've got a good version of that formula, then you can use that formula as a base to build off of. You can't keep trying a completely new thing every time. I left a comment. I'll go back up. Oh, it was from yesterday. I was mad about how... No, wait. Oh, overpriced in-game currency, and even if you use real money, it wouldn't be enough. Yeah, I did get, even in the short time that I was playing GT7, I did really like it, but in the short time that I was playing it, there were a couple of times where I was like, why is that so expensive? That feels like it's a little pricey. And I just figured as you get better at the game, you make more money faster. You know, a $100,000 car is a lot of money when you're winning $1,000 per race. But then at a certain point, you're going to be winning $50,000 per race. So I was like, okay, you just have to build it up. Game Theory 7? I forgot today's the 1 year. Oh, today's the 1 year anniversary. Was it the 11th? Why do I think it was the 13th? I thought it was the 13th for Tears of the Kingdom. Even Frontiers with its DLC didn't this but better. A lot of it was here's new ideas in this engine. So when Sega's like of the next one, I don't believe them anymore. As what was next, Dream Team, a good but very different game, and Superstars. You still haven't finished Tears? Oh, it's so good. See everything Sonic Team said, if Frontiers didn't sell, Sega would have stopped making Sonic games. This discussion would have become what could have been. I mean, the problem is, Arwing, they all kind of feel like what could have been, right? What could Sonic be right now if they didn't change gears from Heroes? You know, or what if they made an 06 game and 06 was terrible and they said, all right, we'll do the same thing, but we'll fix it. And we'll fix everything that's wrong with it. Like, and that's the problem, is that there's a lot of that with the Sonic franchise, it seems. That Sonic would be in a much better place if they just picked one and made that version better. Holy smokes. She just took off out there. You know, and again, if you picked exploration, people would say, man, remember when Sonic was about going fast, but the exploration games would probably be much better. Yeah, it's so annoying because everyone is selfish. The thing with that, Tadded, I mean, you're not wrong, but the thing with that is it would feel more like selfishness if Sonic made really, really good speed games and then the exploration games sucked. And then you would say, then the people who complain about the exploration games would be able to say, yeah, but the speed games are so good. But what's happening here is that it seems like everybody kind of agrees that none of them are great. Because they're kind of going back and forth. We all right, Flip? What's happening today? What was that about? Oh, 9GT7. As you saw, some cars require invitations to purchase. That's the real life car culture thing that no one likes. Oh, okay. Why do I need an invitation to buy a Ferrari Enzo in a video game? Yeah, that's kind of, wait, that's so weird. When you say invitation, you don't mean, you're not saying in the game. You mean like a real life invitation to buy an in-game car? What? And even when Sega was like, would make Sonic spin-offs, like the storybook games or the RPG, the second those games didn't do as good as the mainline, Sega abandoned ship and said, never mind, those ideas are canceled for now. And it's like, well, you probably should have just perfected them. What's happening today? My button just randomly stopped working. Solar disappeared. Flip is hiding in a corner, and he lost. What's happening right now? Head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, looks to be plotting his revenge. Oh, okay. Hold on. I gotta find that headline. I can't find it. I'll search for it later. Welcome to Wonderland. Yeah, what's happening here? Bad timeline catching up to us. Greg, you really should have gone to Florida that one time. It was my fault. KH, it was my fault. If I had won my Sunday at the Nintendo World Championships in 1990, the stream would be working right now. Or the game, I should say, would be working right now. Not just that, but since the fan base is so divided, they all expect different things. And again, that's why I say that the fan base right now wants different things. But if for the last 10 years you had something that felt like it worked with Sonic, I feel like there'd be more of the fan base that says, I would like to see Sonic do this, but I'm glad that these games are good. You know, and it's just Sonic doesn't even have that. I think that the fan base the fan base might like some things more than others, but I think everybody can agree that nothing is as good as it could be with Sonic. You know, you look at something like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. There's plenty of people that want a more traditional Zelda experience out of those games. But I would argue that most people agree that as open world games, those games are pretty good. Even if they're not what they want out of a Zelda game, they would agree that those games are still good versions of those kinds of games. It's just not what they want to see out of Zelda. Sonic seems like people who like speed games don't really have a Sonic game that they can rally around. People who like exploration games don't seem to have a Sonic game that they can rally around. Is your refrigerator running? I think it'll be a good president. Yeah, where's my 2D Zelda? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, I will. How many people are still here? People are still here. I'll tell you what. Here's what we'll do. We'll stick around a little bit more. Hang on. Give me a second. Let me get into the mix here. We'll go until my match, and then when whoever it is that I fight, that'll be the last match for the day. So we'll watch a little bit more. Frontiers Update 3, long-time fan. It was the final straw, believe me, Sega. I was so excited only for the DLC to come out. I was like, wow, they really didn't fix anything. In fact, some of these new things made older issues worse. So when Superstars came out, I looked at it, was like more or less Sonic fan, and was like, how did we get here? And it's a shame because Superstars could have been that game, and Superstars had a bunch of various issues. Oh, I mean, if you were rich per se and wanted to buy an actual Ferrari, you would need an invitation to purchase it. In GT7, it's basically the same thing, but the game never tells you how to get these invitations. Not IRL invitation. So there's an in-game task to be allowed to buy the Ferrari, but the game doesn't tell you that there's an in-game task, and it doesn't tell you what the task is. I'm not sure the fact the invitations even exist in a video. Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. Unless there was some really obvious mechanic. And it's like, okay, that's kind of clever. I would say Final Fantasy is the same. The games have been good despite doing different stuff, at least for the most part. See, and like Cage, that's a good example because while you can argue about missing, let's say Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, you can argue about missing the turn-based aspect, but a lot of people agree that they're still good games. Remake and Rebirth were still excellent examples of the games that they were, even if they weren't what you wanted. Whereas Sonic, everybody seems to agree that the games are not even that great. I hate both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but I like Frontier, so I don't really get a say. Tears and Breath are fine games that can coexist with 2D Zelda and 3D Zelda and classic 3D Zelda, and I hope the Zelda team don't forget that. I don't think they will. I like Superstars as a single-player game, but whatever. It's simulating the real-life way to rent a Ferrari. You never fully own them. Oh, it's a game of chicken to see if I would go to the side to see if I would go over there to get it. Oh, okay. To a point you brought up, the issue is that if you had asked, many would say, I just want a good game, but in reality, Sonic fans would also, because they want the Sonic they remember, which again, I think that it's hard to say that definitively because, oh my God, you kind of landed on that. It's hard to say that definitively because I don't think, the people who say that, I don't think they have a game that they think was good. I don't know. I feel like Frontiers was a good try, but then like you said, Update 3 came out and it kind of pissed everybody else off. Like I said, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I think a lot of people will agree that they were good games, even if they weren't the games you were looking for. Do Sonic fans have a game that they agree was good, even if it's not what they were looking for? Superstars was rife with problems. Frontiers was very odd in its sort of behavior. Oh, what I mean is the invitation thing. Ferrari sells their cars to select people, but even after you buy it, you never own the car. Ferrari. Oh, wait, really? Ferrari still owns it and can revoke it back if they feel you're doing damage to the brand, modify the car. I've heard that, Lilac. I've heard that in order to be able to buy a Ferrari, you have to like sign an agreement that you're never going to modify it. That you're not going to do anything to it. You're not going to get a crazy paint job or anything like that. Like, you're not allowed to change the car at all. Which is insane to me. When Mania came out, Sonic fans agreed this is good for a while. Then the issue was it's good for classic fans. Yeah, you're right. Mania does kind of change that. Mania was kind of the game that everybody thought was good. Or the vast majority. The vast majority. Frontier's getting a pass from Sonic fans because it's the first of its kind when it comes to Sonic. But I play other open world exploration games and it pales in comparison. Yeah, even as an open world exploration game, Frontiers wasn't great. So, like, even anybody who defends Frontiers would say I feel like anybody I've heard that says they like Frontiers admits that it's not great, but I liked it. And that's not saying the game is good. That's just saying you admit that it's okay, but you liked it. I can't have my Ahagayo Ferrari. And Latimer, yeah. Like, that's the thing, is that, like, you say that as a joke, but look at the people out there that like the color pink. You know, they'll go out there and they'll get everything pink. You can't have a pink Ferrari. Oh! Because I don't think Ferrari will color one that way. And you can't go and get it, you can't get it aftermarket painted. So you can't do that. You can't add that as part of your, you know, your sort of cool brand or anything. I don't think I could get a silver Ferrari. I don't think I could get a Ferrari and then have it painted silver. Yeah, it's good it's good, but or like I said, Dragoon, well, I liked it. Admitting that most people are probably going to think it's not that great, but you were okay with it. Stage wasn't in my favorite, so I had to play chicken. Okay. All right. I was wondering. Flip, I wouldn't have thought much of it, but after Solar and then after my controller problems that I was having earlier, I was kind of confused. Not all supercar companies are snot. Yeah, exactly. I think I'd be able to get a silver Lamborghini. Right? I think Lamborghini's pretty open about changing your paint jobs and stuff. If I got a supercar, what supercar would I get? Would I even get a supercar? Do you think I'm a supercar? I don't feel like a supercar guy. I don't feel like the kind of guy that would get like a Lamborghini or something. If I had $1 bajillion, I don't think I would want a Lamborghini or anything like that. I would want something weird. What would I want? I must have an anime supercar so people don't believe how I have it and also ruined it. Wait. Oh, okay. That you have a Lamborghini, but you put anime characters on it. Oh my god. Oh, McLaren MP4. I mean, a McLaren is a nice car. Oh, wow. The disrespect here is insane. What is that? Most of this is taking place off the ground. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I saw a Cybertruck at a valet garage I work at. I worked last night when I was heading home. They are uglier in person. I want Mr. Scooty Puff from Mario Kart 8, but in real life. Even in Dream Team, which was also positively received, was full of, but because of Apple Arcade. But also, even the game itself is a bit buggy, has pacing issues, practically no story. It just kind of ends, even with a visually neat finale. Why not the Wienermobile? Too much innuendo. Too much innuendo in the Wienermobile. Especially when I park it in the back of my house. See, I'd want something like you know what I'd want? As ridiculous as it sounds, I'd want something like a K-truck. Those little trucks from Japan. I like those. I think that those are kind of fun. It would be something like that. It would be something like a cool van or I don't know, just something more interesting than a like supercars. I think supercars are cool. It's not something that I feel like fits me as a character. DeLorean. I've always wanted one. I always wanted a DeLorean. The problem is I've seen videos because the DeLoreans are so old. I've seen video and they were not the best builds originally. So I've seen videos of people like updating them, and it just seems like you're putting in 10 times the money that you would pay for one to fix one up. So I wouldn't want that.
2, 1, go!
The paddy wagon. You wouldn't even have a license to drive it. In the U.S., a lot of those Japanese mini, yeah, they're illegal. The K-trucks are illegal over here. K-trucks are illegal, and there are importing laws about what the heck are they? Skylines. Skylines. If you want to have a Skyline over here, it has to be one of the more modern ones, or you have to wait for like the time to turn up to wrap up on the older ones. A bat versus a pterodactyl, I think, would take place more in the air. I mean, you're not wrong. Instead, the U.S. just wants bigger and bigger cars. There's a massive blind spot in front. Trucks. People like big trucks. That's one of the car culture things in the U.S. I can't stand. I don't like big trucks. Most people don't even need them. I mean, but also most people don't need supercars, and most people don't need souped up cars with 500 horsepower engines. They're just fun to have for them. If I had to go for something weird, go for the yellow Reliant Robin from Only Fools and Horses. God, the Reliant Robin, isn't that... Ronan, the Reliant Robin, isn't that one of the cars that they used to use in Top Gear? In the UK Top Gear show? Canyonero, whoa, Canyonero. Gonna step out of the ring. I think I'm done for the day. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up soon. Once I have I'll have a match, and then that'll be the last match for the day. Realistic racing games can't have damage on their cars. No, you're right. Yeah, real brand cars can't show damage from races, even if you make. No, yeah, that was a big problem. That was why a lot of car companies like initially didn't want to sign in with Gran Turismo, because they didn't want the show. They didn't want to show their cars being damaged. No, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Woo. Oh. Yeah, cars get damaged. What kind of BS logic is that? It's like it has to do with like the image of the car. They don't want imagery of their car being destroyed. Yeah, that's an old thing. It's the three-wheel car with. Oh, I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Jeremy Clarkson crashed one repeatedly in Top Gear. Ronan, that's the car. That's the car that Mr. Bean used to crash. Whenever he would drive his car recklessly, there'd be that three-wheel. I guess it was a Reliant Robin that it would always tip over. Oh my God! He hit him so hard the frame rate died. You see that? The game lagged. Oh, that's why that move is called the lag spike. Okay, that makes sense. My granddad used to have one. My uncles used to take it out and see if it flipped. And if it flipped, they just flipped it back. Yeah. Ridley hit Wolf so hard, Star Fox died again. That would imply that Star Fox was alive again to then die. Oh. 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 Oh, he's in. Oh! Oh! Little turnaround there. Little turnaround. Fun racing games like split second are dead. Only sports racing games are left. No, I think that there's actually no. You're not totally wrong about that. What are some arcadey racing games that are still around? Because nothing like Forza and there's Forza and Gran Turismo. You had Dirt, but Dirt I also felt like was rally simulation. Give me a game like San Francisco Rush. The Crew? Is The Crew like that? Is The Crew more arcadey style racing experience? And not futuristic, right? Not fast RMX or something. See, Dirt 5... No, Dirt 5 was a bit more arcadey. Yeah, you're right. For the little time that I played it, it didn't feel like it was a simulation. It didn't completely feel like a simulation game. People are playing with Dirt these days. Latimer, you got to get with the times. They're up to Dirt 5. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Dirt's gone through several revisions by now. Oh, Leonard Dragoon, have a good one. The Crew is definitely arcade racing. Okay, so The Crew would count then. Forza Horizons. Oh, Forza Horizons is more like arcade than traditional. Is a more arcade-like take on traditional Forza. Okay, so there are some versions of it. Didn't Gran Turismo 2? Didn't Gran Turismo 2 come with 2 discs, and one of them was the more simulation game, and the other one was more arcadey? Is that what that was? There was like, yeah, it was like one of them was like a more arcade version of the game, and then the other one was the actual simulation game. And then 3 just kind of threw that out there, and they were like, no, it's all sim. Speaking of broken games, I love Mario Sunshine. Hey, also speaking of broken games, I downloaded Warzone again, and I was playing that yesterday. Just randomly. I was just... All right, Kia, you say broken games, I think Call of Duty. Oh my God. Still never played Sunshine. I feel like playing Sunshine would have to be... That'd have to be like some sort of a stream goal. That would have to be... We raise money, and then I play Sunshine when we do. No, I didn't get Black Ops 3 yet. There's a couple of games that I wanted to get in that sale. How long is that sale going for? Isn't that for like 2 weeks? I want to get Black Ops 3. You know what's funny? I have I actually have later Apple have a good one. I was talking about like Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare and stuff. I actually have Advanced Warfare on PS3. I didn't realize I had that. That would have been a Goodwill find. That would have been something at the Goodwill store. Tell you what's not broken, there's new Helldivers weapons. No, Helldivers is broken. That's the problem. I have Cancun trip planned for September. I went online and found Mario's Shine Sprite shirt from the game, and now I know what I'm wearing for my vacation. I hope you're wearing it for more than a day. I hope you're wearing more than one shirt, I mean. Ew. Is that for Advanced Warfare? Oh my God. Oh no. Punch him right in the fangs. Oh, that's for the PS3 version of Advanced Warfare. Yeah, I want to get that. Gravity Rush is on sale. Gravity Rush 2 is on sale. All right, so this will be the last match for the day. I'm gonna fight this one. This is win or lose. I don't buy many gaming shirts. I made an exception.
Three, two, one, go!
Oh my gosh! No, Daisy! Oh my god! I knew I was gonna lose for that. Gravity Rush should be dirt cheap. Yeah, Gravity Rush. It's Gravity Rush 2 is $10. I don't know how much the first one is. If you can even get the first one anymore. Oh! You can still get the first one? Okay. Ow. Oh, no way. Oh my god. Good shot right there. Ah. Damn. Oh, that hit him? Wow. Oh, what the heck? Ow. Oh, why did he go down so fast? He sank like a stone. Oh. Oh, no way. I hit the button. Ah. Whoa. I gotta be honest with you, the only reason I'm having a chance here is these bananas. Oh! What happened? I don't know how that happened. Why did he do that? What was happening there? That he was like, he was just falling really hard. Wow. Whew. End the stream. Yeah, that was actually the last match though. That's funny. I don't know what happened there. Oh my god. Wolf's really, Star Fox characters are really heavy. I mean, that seems insane. He's a fast faller. Is that really legit? Jesus. Getting annoyed with myself. No, that's okay. Thinking too much. Don't worry about it. Listen, Solar, if it wasn't for those bananas, I would have gotten trashed, right? I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. 1 second here. Del Boy's Robin Reliance sauce for double expect. Oh no. Okay, give me a second here. Hang on 1 second. Who the heck? Oh, okay. I will. Okay. You're good, Solar. I felt bad myself. That's why they were OP in. Oh, that's why they were OP in Melee. Well, Melee itself is just the OP game. You know, it's just a better game. That's just it. So, all right. But that is going to do it for today. So thank you everybody for stopping and for hanging out. I very, very much appreciate it. Sorry again about yesterday. It would have been a shorter stream yesterday though, so not really too much of a problem. But you know, I still feel bad about it anyway. Tomorrow we have off, so we'll be back on Monday, and we'll be back with more Final Fantasy 16. Let's hope, for the love of God, that Microsoft isn't horrible and they don't do something stupid. Or say anything stupid over the weekend or throughout the course of Monday morning so that we can get back into 16 relatively quickly. And I'm going to try and get into 16 very quickly. They will. Look, everybody's like, they will. Really good race. Finished third. 313 points in the bag from a race combo I didn't expect much from. That's pretty good. Congratulations. See, you're doing pretty good there. Doing good. For right now, though, I'm going to send you over to SuzyLyn253. They're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Nightmare Troubadour. So stick around after the credits, and I will send you over there to hang out and represent us very well. But thank you once again. Let me get this ready, just so that I'm not double and triple clicking everything. Oh, it worked this time. Search. Okay. But thank you everybody for stopping in, for hanging out. Don't forget to drink your mask, wear your water, social distance whenever possible. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Have a great weekend, play some fun games, enjoy yourself, and I will see you all next week.